When a race car is hitting on all 8 cylinders and the setup is right, it's a force to be reckoned with. Couple that with a crew that's hitting on all 8 and a driver-owner combination like Richard Childress and Dale Earnhardt, and can anything stop them now?
I'm so glad I found you. I'm not gonna lose you. Whatever it takes, I will stay here with you. Take it to the good times, see it through the bad times. Whatever it takes is what I'm gonna do. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us.
That's commute at Dover Downs International Speedway in Delaware for the Delaware 500 Winston Cup race. The engines have just started. We're going to get this race underway as quickly as possible because of a threat of rain. You can see the temperature is 64 degrees and the chance of rain is 85%. However, it has not rained all morning. There are, however, forecasts of such occurring during the afternoon. I'm Bob Jenkins along with Larry Newber, and 40 cars are set to go on 500 laps around this 1-mile track.
Dale Earnhardt, Bob, has won 50% of this year's races, 11 of 22. Can Dover be a stopper for him? Well, I'll tell you, historically, this has been a tough racetrack for Dale Earnhardt. He has never finished on the lead lap. Never on the lead lap here at Dover. His best full-time finish is a 3rd, although he has won the last 3 races in a row.
Here's the starting lineup for today's Delaware 500. On the pole from Greenfield, Wisconsin, in the number 7 Xerox Ford, Alan Kulwicki, with a speed of 145.826. Outside of the front row will be Davey Allison in the Haviland Ford. Going to row number 2, it'll be Terry Labonte from the Corpus Christi, Texas area in the Budweiser Chevy, and then Rick Wilson in car number 4, the Kodak Olds. In row number 3, it'll be Ken Schrader from Fenton, Missouri in the Red Baron Pizza Ford, and then Jeff Bodine in the number 5 Levi Garrett Chevrolet. Harry Gant will start inside of row number 4 in the Skoll Bandit Chevrolet, and then the number 21 Sitco Ford driven by Kyle Petty. In row number 5, Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia in the Coors Ford, and Morgan Shepherd in the Quaker State Buick. Sterling Marlin will start in the 11th position in the Piedmont Olds, car number 44. Starting 12th will be Bobby Allison from Hueytown, Alabama in the Miller American Buick. In the 7th row, Ricky Rudd from Chesapeake, Virginia. And outside of that row will be Buddy Baker from Charlotte, North Carolina in the Crisco Olds. Row number 8 consists of Brett Bodine and Jimmy Means, and as we take a look at the rest of the field, Larry, you gotta feel that this is going to be a sprint because of the threat of rain. It could go 251.
Everybody has to have that on their mind. We've had a big mix in terms of how the top runners have qualified here. They are sprinkled literally throughout the entire field, and there have been a couple surprises also in the top 20. So this could be a real trophy dash, Bob, by among as many as 20 different cars.
The command has already been given to start the engines, and they are warming up their cars along pit road. Meanwhile, let's go now to one of 2 pit reporters for the afternoon, the editor of Stock Car Racing magazine. Here is Dick Berggren.
Well, Bob, rookies will pace the pack to the green flag this afternoon. Young Alan Kulwicki, defending Rookie of the Year title holder, is on the pole. He brought not only his best car, he brought his only car. He's going to challenge the veteran teams that have 5, 6, and 7 automobiles. Outside him, a guy who hopes to be the 1987 Rookie of the Year title holder is Davey Allison. He won here in the springtime. He hopes to do it again this afternoon. Jerry Punch, where are the veterans?
Well, Dick, the veterans are back in the field. In fact, a lot of the veterans didn't even make it on the first day of qualifying. Names like Rusty Wallace, Neil Bonnet, Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, and Darrell Waltrip. In fact, Darrell Waltrip was so frustrated with his qualifying effort, he was the first driver to name cars, and he gave this car a name. They're going to call it Hemorrhoid. You figure out how they feel about it.
All right, and the last row we might explain to you, saw it on our graphics, that starting in the last row, Cale Yarborough and Mike Waltrip. That's because they're both running their backup cars after an accident in the final practice session yesterday. Well, the Delaware 500 from Dover Downs International Speedway is being brought to you by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. No matter how far you go, Goodyear takes you home. By Quaker State Motor Oil. New Quaker State with QSX keeps your engine cleaner to last longer. By Xerox Antifreeze and Coolant, the antifreeze that beats winter. and by the California Raisins. Visit your local supermarket for a chance to name the reason and win a trip to Hollywood and Vine. As the cars warm up on their pace laps, we'll take this break and be right back for the start of the Delaware 500 from Dover Downs, Delaware.
The Monte Carlo SS of NASCAR champion Dale Earnhardt uses just one make of tire, the Goodyear Racing Eagle. And every Monte Carlo SS leaves Chevrolet with just one make of tire, the Goodyear Eagle GT Street Radial. Not by coincidence, because Goodyear makes better high-performance tires for the track and for the street. Goodyear Eagles, they'll take you home the quick way or to the winner's circle.
Goodyear, take me home.
We're back with an afternoon of Winston Cup racing at Dover Downs International Speedway. 500 laps around this 1 mile track, banked at 24 degrees on the turns. The straightaways are banked at 9 degrees. One of those who has been running very well in Winston Cup competition, Jimmy Means.
And Bob, ironically, the man that he knocked out of the top 20 yesterday was Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt has come with a 1988 prototype car. He could only qualify 20 seconds best.
Cale Yarborough was extensively damaged in a crash yesterday in the final practice session, and so therefore he starts from the rear of the pack on the last row. He'll be carrying our Hardee's race cam throughout the afternoon.
And just to his starboard, just getting out as the field rumbled out of the pit road, the man he crashed with yesterday, Michael Waltrip. It was touch and go until the very last seconds that Michael would get into this field.
Rick Wilson will also carry one of our in-car cameras, the Kodak Film Racing Cam. He starts in 4th position after a very fine qualifying effort at 144.671. And the field now enters a 3rd turn, and the light on the pace car has been turned out, so we can assume that this race will be getting underway as they come around this time. Alan Kulwicki with his 3rd pole of 1987, his 2nd consecutive. He started from pole position at Richmond just last weekend on a very flat and small track, a much different type of surface that he'll be racing on here this afternoon. Here comes the field out of corner number 4. Kulwicki and Davey Allison on the front row. The pace begins to quicken and the green flag is out. Into turn number 1 and into turn number 2, 2 abreast racing, as out into the lead is Davey Allison, but it's just by about a half a car length. Alan Kulwicki is in 2nd position as we have a problem on the backstretch. Several cars being involved in an incident. We have one car, Phil Parsons, is involved in this, and the yellow flag comes out after only 1 lap. The race to the yellow won, I believe, by Davey.
Boy, that was an interesting start. It was one of the better starts of the season. Kulwicki and Davey Allison being recognized as youngsters on this trail are to be commended. That was an excellent start. There is Phil Parsons. You can see has the car in reverse, trying to get back toward entrance to the infield area, so perhaps he could get back to his assigned garage area to make some repairs in that car, but there was extensive damage. Alan Kulwicki, as he was coming out of turn number 2, went into a hair-raising slide there. You couldn't see it so well on the camera because we were so far away, but Alan had his hands full but stayed in the throttle, saved it down the backstretch, and he and Davey went into turn 3 and around 3 and 4 side by side.
It's really miraculous that no other cars were involved in this crash because Phil Parsons started literally in the middle. He started 21st, and so he had a lot of cars behind him when the trouble erupted. I really didn't see how it started, but as you can see, Phil is having all kinds of trouble getting that car situated in the right position to get back onto the racetrack. Here is a replay of it. Watch the bottom part of the racetrack.
You can see what appears to be Neil Bonnet looks a little sideways. There's Dale Earnhardt on the outside. Phil would have started behind the 2 of them. There he is spinning all by himself. Bobby Hillin Jr. taking great evasive action, almost got caught up in that, and Phil was down on the inside, and on the outside there in the number 81 car. Getting involved in that also was Mike Potter, the driver from Johnson City, Tennessee.
So the yellow has come very early in the Delaware 500. We'll be right back.
And crime. A lot of car dealers around here are always screaming at you. They yell at you on TV. They shout at you from the radio. And what's worse, they're just as pushy and hard sell when you go into their showrooms. Now, they may sell their cars that way, but that's no way to buy a car, is it?
Bob Valenti's Auto Complex. Quality doesn't have to cost more, nor speak so loudly.
In a blend of heart and mind, from baseline to net, Chris Everett Lloyd plays to perfection. From Wimbledon and France to Australia and the U.S. Open, her concentration conquers. Chrissy's center court style is unequaled, like her timepiece, the Rolex Lady Date.
Available at Westerly Jewelry, downtown Westerly.
3 laps completed, and we only ran a half a lap before we had a yellow flag. Phil Parsons spinning on the backstretch, making contact with the wall. He's still trying to get that car situated onto the racetrack so he can get to his pit or garage area for repairs. In the meantime, let's go to Dick Berggren on pit road.
Well, Bob, there's a little bit of concern in Davey Allison's pit. Yesterday afternoon in the last practice session, Davey tried to crank the engine over to start it, and the engine simply wouldn't turn over. They removed the air cleaner, and they found that a carburetor booster was missing. They fished into the engine. Here is the carburetor booster. They found it lying on top of the piston. They put the engine all back together again and decided to run it today. Why? Engine builder Robert Yates says, this is our best motor. This is the same engine that they had in the car at Darlington a couple of weeks ago when they ran so strong. They wanted to run it here. Was that engine damaged? They really hope it was not, but they can't be sure. They've got a long race this afternoon, and they hope that motor stays together.
At the moment, though, Davey Allison is the leader. He drag raced with Alan Kowicki back to the green for the yellow flag, and Davey won that race. In third position at the moment is Terry Labonte, followed by Rick Wilson, Ken Schrader, and then Harry Gant. Jeff Bodine behind Harry, then Kyle Petty, and Bill Elliott. So we remain under caution here at Dover Downs International Speedway and the Delaware 500.
Beautiful Monday.
Coast, the scent opens your eyes. Coast a ladder, and you realize that coast is the way to make you feel alive. Coast, feel alive.
Sure beats snow.
Feel alive with Coast.
ESPN's World Tour slogan to win a trip to the Australian Grand Prix is Formula One Finale. Write that slogan on a card with your name and address and mail to World Tour Sweepstakes, P.O. Box 911, Ridgely, Maryland, 21683.
And the green has just come out to restart this race, and Davey Allison continues to lead. The battle at the moment is for second. That's Terry Labonte putting some pressure on Alan Kowicki as they race down the backstretch. Kowicki, the pole sitter, in second position. Here comes Allison to complete lap number 7. Good racing here, 3 abreast through corner number 2. That's, of course, Darrell Waltrip on the high side of the racetrack. Look at Richard Petty in the STP Pontiac. Also moving up, Neil Bonnet leads the contingent down here. Jimmy Means and Benny Parsons are racing side by side. Then comes Darrell Waltrip and Richard Petty. Positions changing, though, out of turn number 4.
Dale Jarrett with his brand new sponsor, that white car directly behind Darrell Waltrip. Those of you who are familiar with NASCAR racing are used to seeing the Greenlander colors, blue with red and white American flag stripes. That is the new colors for a new sponsor on the Dale Jarrett car, Coates and Clark's Sewing Supply. There he is.
18th, 19th, 20th. Darrell Waltrip running in 20th position at the moment. And behind him is Dale Jarrett. Then comes comes Bobby Hillin Jr., Jimmy Means, and Rusty Wallace. Also, there was Steve Chrisman.
We told you that qualifying had been scrambled, and there never was a better indication of what went on. There's Chrisman going up, almost touching the wall, battling with Rusty Wallace, who drops down to the low side. Immediately behind in the 64 car, that's Trevor Boys this week.
And look at Cale Yarborough moving up from that last row starting position. He just passed Dave Marcus on the inside of the racetrack, and now we go inside of Cale's car to look at his progress on the high banks of Dover.
Yarborough has picked up 10 positions already. There he goes to the inside of Jimmy Means down the back straightaway.
Means a little bit high on the racetrack, got a little bit out of shape. As a matter of fact, he's running that high line all the way around the track and not having much success in doing so.
Boy, Yarborough for pulling on a backup car. There he goes to the high side of the 64 car. Told you that was Trevor Boys. Now looking at Steve Chrisman for pulling out a backup car. Yarborough is really hooked up strong here in the early laps.
He damaged his primary car very badly in that crash. He backed it into the wall in turn number 1, and everything from the back glass on back was gone. It was completely torn away. But Cale uninjured in the incident and brought out the backup car to compete here this afternoon. There is Steve Chrisman right alongside of Cale Yarborough. Chrisman on the high side of the racetrack. Now Cale, it looks like, will be able to pull around him. They go side by side and door handle to door handle down the backstretch into turn 3. Cale Yarborough passes Chrisman.
1 mile around the Monster Mile at Dover. There is Cale Yarborough. Now Hardy's number 29. Backup car, remember we told you, back up front. The leaders remain as they have since the green. It is Davey Allison there in the left-hand side of your screen. Alan Kowicki, the pole setter, his third of the year, is in second. Terry Labonte is third, and Rick Wilson is running in fourth in the Kodak car. Inside, Rick Wilson following Labonte.
Rick Wilson seeing the Budweiser colors of Terry Labonte right in front of him. Notice the low line they take going into corner number 1, then drift out high as they come off the corner and go down the backstretch. Wilson running very well here in the early stages of this race, firmly entrenched in fourth. And Richard Petty and Darrell Waltrip are going at it out there. We haven't mentioned the fact that Darrell Waltrip and Stevie, his wife, gave birth to a little girl last week, late last week. Jessica Lee and baby and mother are doing fine.
24 degrees, the corners here at Dover. As you're looking at the king, Richard Petty, who's had his best year at least in the last 3. Richard Petty has come close a number of times this year at winning race number 201, which he's been looking for a long time. The straightaways here are banked only 9 degrees. See the cars how they almost flatten out coming down these very short, just 1/5 of a mile straightaway. There's actually a little bit of a dip coming out of number 1, or rather out of number 2 and out of number 4. You go uphill almost, although you don't sense it when you're in the car.
Let's go to Jerry Punch, who has a report on Phil Parsons.
Well, Phil has the Skoll Classic Oldsmobile in the garage. They're trying to get it fixed. Phil, what happened out there?
Jerry, I really don't know. We started the race, and as I was coming off turn 2, the thing just swapped ends. I don't know whether just the fact that we had a little rain last night or whether something broke. I really honestly don't know.
Well, heavy damage on the right foot. They're going to try to get him back in the race. He's currently 12th in the Winston Cup point standings.
The minor point, Bob, but remember that I mentioned that Alan Kowicki got sideways running down there in the bottom. There's Rick Wilson moving underneath Terry Labonte. Change in the top 3. Wilson now third. But Kowicki got sideways down there too, so I suspect there's a good possibility that Phil is absolutely right. There may have been a surprise down in the bottom of turn 2, exiting on lap number 1.
Wilson and Labonte going at it tooth and nail out there. Rick has passed Terry for that third position. Labonte, though, right behind him, and behind Labonte, trailing very closely, there's the Harry Gant car, number 33. As they pass the number 97 car driven by Wayne Strout from Rockingham, North Carolina, the Engineering Tech Oldsmobile. And here comes Kyle Petty also, who's locked in right behind Harry Gant, and Jeff Bodine is approaching all of this.
We mentioned earlier that Richard Childress as we go back inside the Rick Wilson car again. That Richard Childress has brought out a 1988 prototype for next year. They've run it here at Dover. They've never done well here at Dover. And with the subtraction of Dale Earnhardt as a strong candidate to win, it really opens up the field. But I believe, you saw that green car, by the way, I've heard here for just a second in the pits. It's Morgan Shepherd. The Kenny Bernstein Morgan Shepherd car is pulled into the pits here on lap number 21. I was saying that I believe that Davey Allison will be very difficult to beat here today, although it opens up quite a lot when you subtract Dale.
We continue to watch this battle for third position as Davey Allison and Alan Kulwicki are hooked up in the duel for the lead. But now Terry Labonte stands on the gas coming out of turn number 4, and he retakes third position from Rick Wilson.
Meanwhile, Allison, Davey, and Kulwicki, Allen are pulling away from everybody, Bob. They have opened up at least a straightaway ahead of third place Labonte and fourth place, whom you're racing with, Rick Wilson.
And there they are, the two Fords, Allison and Kulwicki. Kulwicki is going to make the pass on Davey Allison down the front straightaway, and Alan Kulwicki goes into the lead. Our first lead change of the race. Kulwicki now begins to pull away just slightly from Davey Allison.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Alan Kulwicki has never won a Winston Cup race. Bob mentioned earlier, he has 3 poles. He comes into this race without a lot of cars, but with a great deal of confidence.
Ran very well at Richmond last weekend, but was eliminated in a crash. Right now, it's Kulwicki in the lead at Dover.
Xerox, the antifreeze that beats winter. Available now.
I'm Duke. This is my car. These are my people. This is my cookie. And this is my oil filter. Purelated. Why purelated? Because they invented the oil filter. So they know how to make them right. And my people can learn from my noble example. Cookie, she don't care. She goes with me because I'm a legend.
You got your pure oil now, you got your pure oil-later, Purelator oil filters.
October on ESPN, part of the hottest fall ever. College football heats up with live Saturday doubleheaders, sizzling Grand Prix and IndyCar excitement, and horsepower of another kind sets a blistering pace between top thoroughbreds. Golf's best scorch the fairways in the Nabisco Championship. There's fire on ice as the National Hockey League season begins. And Sundays don't miss television's ultimate highlight show, NFL Primetime, the hottest fall of sports ever, in October on ESPN.
We're back at Dover for Winston Cup racing on this Sunday afternoon. A very cloudy, overcast, and rain-threatening day, but the race underway. As a matter of fact, 27 laps all. The leader is the number 7 Xerox Ford, driven by Alan Kulwicki. Trailing is Davey Allison in car number 28, the Haviland Ford. So a couple of Fords up front here. In third position is Terry Labonte in the number 11 machine, and then Rick Wilson in number 4. There's the leader, Alan Kulwicki from Greenfield, Wisconsin. He did not break the track record here when he sat on the pole this weekend, but nevertheless was fastest of all qualifiers. And here is Kyle Petty in car number 21, really showing some muscle here in the early going. He is challenging Rick Wilson for 4th. Kyle Petty to the inside. Wilson, however, for the moment is holding him off. Kyle had a very good qualifying effort, starting 8th in this race, and he is picking up position.
Working their way around the blue, yellow trim number 82 of Rick Jeffrey, known mostly for his exploits on dirt and in ARCA. He has made the field here, the Winston Cup field at Dover, and there's Kyle Petty going underneath Rick Wilson again. They're motoring right now through turns 3 and 4, and could Petty get into the 4th running position? That would be 3 of the first 4. And right behind is Ricky Rudd, and Bud Moore's number 15.
Rudd has come from literally nowhere. He started 13th, but now has joined the Wilson and Kyle Petty battle for 4th. Good racing here down the backstretch. Setting into turn number 3. Wilson is trying to stave off Ricky Rudd. Rudd to the inside in the Bud Moore car. And now pulling alongside of Rick Wilson as they come down the straightaway, but Wilson with about a half a car length advantage at the stride. Now Rudd begins to inch himself ahead of Rick Wilson, and there goes Ricky Rudd.
Ricky Rudd moves up 1 position, and the Fords are really showing some strength here in the early laps at Dover. There there inside, Rick Wilson, the man who has just put one on, Mr. Wilson, Ricky Rudd.
Rudd has now moved to 6th position, and Rick Wilson back to 7th. Rick ran 3rd for quite a while, but has fallen victim to a couple of faster cars and is now back to 7th. Up front, meanwhile, it is still Alan Kulwicki and Davey Allison.
The cars appear to be evenly matched, Bob. The car of, and look at this racing here. We're talking about the cars of Kulwicki and Davey Allison. But meanwhile, back in about 10th position, there is Earnhardt. Earnhardt has improved his lot in life by 10 positions. They're 3 abreast now. Bobby Allison looks to the inside of Dale Earnhardt. That's Kenny Schrader in the number 90 car on the outside. They're 3 abreast only momentarily because you can't do that too long.
It sure brought the crowd to its feet, though. Everybody standing, watching this great side-by-side battle as Dale Earnhardt begins to move now. There is the number 90 car of Ken Schrader also right there. We might mention it's very easy to lose a lap here because it's only a mile in length the racetrack. You can lose a lap, but you can also gain a lap back very easily. Remember, Dale Earnhardt, current leader in Winston Cup points by about 608 over Bill Elliott, has never won a race here. Not only that, he has never finished on the lead lap.
But Dover has been kind to Dale so far today. Dale has really picked up the pace, certainly since qualifying, and he's been passing a lot of competitive race cars, and he appears to be moving to the front once again.
Dale may be viewing this contest as a sort of an experiment because he has such a huge lead in the points. Maybe he's deciding to experiment a little bit and check out some next season things here at Dover. There's
also, Bob, if you look real close at Earnhardt's car, the interior is a little different color this week. It's red. The interior throughout the motion of this year has been blue. There's probably going to be a sponsor change on that car for next year, and this is an 88 car, remember I told you.
The number 44 blue car, driven by Sterling Marlin, and has picked up a position on Harry Gannon. Number 33 is now Earnhardt. Goes to the inside in corner number 3, and Earnhardt also passes Harry Gannon.
Earnhardt is really picked up pace. Earnhardt has got with the program here. You know, the team is not known for their qualifying strength. They really concentrate on race day setups, and they have proven in 1987 that, without a question, is the way to go. You think about race day rather than perhaps sitting on the pole.
There are your leaders once again. Alan Kulwicki continuing to set the pace here at the Delaware 500 at Dover with Davey Allison in 2nd position. Terry Labonte is all by himself in 3rd, about a quarter of a straightaway behind Davey Allison. Meanwhile, we'll report to you that Cale Yarborough, who started in 30th, has moved to 22nd. Now, here is Davey Allison making a bid to the inside. They come down the straightaway, and Jimmy Means right there on the inside that caused Davey Allison to reposition his car and not be able to make a challenge on the lead, but perhaps next time he will.
All right, let's talk just a little bit about pit strategy. Yes, we're very early, but remember, 1-mile racetrack. It's pretty easy to figure out. The normal distance that you can go, the benchmark is 100 miles, or would be 100 laps on a mile racetrack. So we are figuring on 4 stops will be required, but usually at Dover, there is a number of yellow flags. The average is somewhere between 5 and 6. And more often than not, depending on when they fall, you'll see the leaders duck in on yellow.
Alan Kulwicki leads Davey Allison, Terry Labonte, Kyle Petty, and Ricky Rudd in the early stages of the Delaware 500.
Man has always been fascinated with speed. But winning is more than a quest for speed. It's a measure of skill, a test of guts. And though NASCAR has changed through the decades, its spirit never will. It's not just the machine, it's the man who drives it. We're proud to be a part of this great sport. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
I feel good. Time to go, boys. You've been in there long enough.
Hey, we're not even tired. I feel good.
So I've checked the mileage and it's...
Hey, we're the auto line. We're guaranteed.
Guaranteed?
I feel good. Yeah, 2 years, no matter how far we go.
But no spark plug guarantees that.
We do. Yeah, we're the auto line.
But
So go pull the plug. luck on somebody else.
In communities across America, there's a working spirit. People working together with a feeling of pride. When that feeling exists, there's Dickies Work Clothes. America, it still works. Dickies, the brand it works in. Dickies, made with Celanese Fortrell polyester.
Fuss with shampoo and conditioner? Who needs it? I want to wash my hair and go. And now I can with Pert Plus. Complete shampoo plus complete conditioner in one bottle. Pert Plus leaves my hair clean, conditioned, and looking terrific. Before, to get results this good, I used shampoo and conditioner. No more. Now, with Pert Plus, I just wash and go.
Pert Plus, shampoo plus complete conditioner in one.
Just some great battling going on here at Dover. And we have a crash. That's Dale Jarrett banging into the wall in corner number 1. And another car also involved. I believe that's Bobby Hillen Jr., who has slid down the banking in the number 8 car, Miller American Buick. And a fire breaks out in Bobby Hillen Jr.'s machine.
Well, not a bright debut for the new full sponsor. You can see Bobby Hillen Jr. bringing his car to a stop. Seems like it extinguished itself when he brought the car to a stop. Bobby may... Well, he is going to exit. I was going to say perhaps he might try to pull the car around. The fire that you see on the ground there is on the ground and not in the car directly behind the Miller American number 8 car. Bobby Hillen Jr., young man originally from the Midland, Texas area, the youngest driver running in the Winston Cup division.
He's out of the car, obviously okay, but now we're going to see the first pit stops. Literally everybody coming in for service, including the leader, Alan Kulwicki, Davey Allison, who was second, and Kyle Petty, who was third. Let's go to Dick.
Well, Kulwicki is hoping that this particular pit stop will pick up his speed. The car had been a little bit loose, so for the last several laps, they've been going through their tire inventory. They've got a set of tires now they think will fix that. This crew, by the way, has hardly worked together at all. They don't even have a crew chief here. Everybody is sort of on their own. Most teams' radio situation have got radios with their names on it. These guys just have right front tire man, left rear tire man. Kulwicki on top of your screen, Allison on the bottom. Here's the drag race out. Who's going to win it? The answer is Kulwicki, because Allison is trapped in his pit. Allison still not out of the pit. Several cars get out. Finally, Davey Allison leaves.
He was blocked in by Richard Petty, and he lost several positions because of that. There were some cars that did not come in, and I believe Bill Elliott was among those who did not come in. There is the Bobby Hillen Jr. car. He was involved in that incident there in corner number 1 with Dale Jarrett, the number 18 machine. And we have a replay of the incident as it occurred in corner number 1. You can see on the top part of your screen that both Jarrett and Bobby Hillen Jr. have made contact with the outside wall.
Both cars sliding down the 24 banking. Bobby Hillen Jr., you can see that's probably fuel that's being trailed there, because you saw the fire, the deposit on the ground when it was over. So if that's true and he has a ruptured cell, his day is over rapidly.
And other pit stops are occurring. As you can see the flame coming from behind that car. There is Bill Elliott. He did not choose to come in on the first lap of caution, but he is in right now. Let's go to Dick again.
And like everybody else, Elliott is taking a 4-tire change. He's sure going to need a new left front tire. He's got blue paint all over it. Elliott has had contact with somebody there on the speedway. Meanwhile, lots of cars pass him. Elliott's going to wind up virtually in the back of the pack when he finally rejoins the field. Elliott with a late, not a great pit stop.
He finally roars away, though, to join up with the rest of the field. Meanwhile, the track crew is out there cleaning up the debris that was scattered in the incident involving Dale Jarrett and Bobby Hillen Jr.
Held over by popular demand, Chris Subaru Isuzu continues to bring you 4.25% financing on pre-owned vehicles, 1985 and newer. This is absolutely your last chance. 4.25% financing on pre-owned vehicles. It's unbelievable. Chris Subaru Isuzu still has 3.9% financing on all new Subarus and Isuzus. It's fantastic. 4.25% financing on used, 3.9% financing on new. Only at Chris Subaru Isuzu, Route 184, Groton.
with Marone Electric and Whirlpool Appliances, it's the Providence Blues Brothers.
If you're looking for quality and savings, you're looking for Whirlpool Appliances. Whirlpool refrigerators, Whirlpool washers and dryers, Whirlpool ranges, and Whirlpool dishwashers with class like us.
So take it from the Blues Brothers. For the best in Whirlpool home appliances, come to Marone Electric, Main Street, Westerly.
Here's an interesting shot of the surface in corner number 1. Now, those are skid marks that were laid down by Dale Jarrett and Bobby Hillen Jr., and also the skid marks that were put down by Cale Yarborough and Mike Waltrip in their late afternoon crash yesterday. Here's a replay, though, of the incident just a few moments ago.
When you're in a high-banked racetrack, things happen very rapidly, and we did not see that develop, so it's difficult to say if something went wrong with Dale Jarrett's car, certainly the man who precipitated all that, though, or if he just got out of the groove, which is unlikely. But things happen so quick on the banks, and you would think that being on a 24-degree banking that the cars would have a tendency to slide down the banks or lean into it, but not at all. You're going so quick in the corners that if something happens, bang, you're up into the fence before you know it.
Here's our pit stop summary. Kulwicki came in the lead, now is 4th. Davey Allison came in 2nd, is now 8th. Kyle Petty came in 3rd, is now 5th. Labonte picked up a couple of positions, and Ricky Rudd was the driver who made the most gain. He came in 5th position and is now in the lead as we remain under caution here at Dover Downs International Speedway. Well, almost everybody came in for a pit stop then, and Dale Earnhardt's crew has certainly been looked upon all season. In fact, for the past couple of seasons, as the very best of all Winston Cup pit crews. Jerry Punch took a little bit closer look at why the Earnhardt crew is so good.
Pit activity is critical at all Winston Cup events. It's the work done here in the trenches that can make or break a team's day. Richard Childress' Wrangler crew is one of the best, one of the very best.
When you have as many as 20 hands, counting the ones behind the wall rolling the tires and everything, you got 20 hands moving in all different directions, and perform a pit stop with 4 tires and 22 gallons of gas in say 25, 26 seconds. You know, that's where it takes real teamwork.
Let's take a look at the Wrangler team in action. Cecil Gordon brings the pit board back across, and the crew already going to work on the Wrangler Chevrolet. Right side tires going on, and look at the left front of the car. Mickey Meredith kneeling there, taking off those left front lug nuts. David Smith ready to drop the jack. They will go around, and they're already ahead of the game. The left side lugs on the left front are loose. Good pit work by the Wrangler crew. Now let's compare that with the Coors Ford. Ernie Elliott brings the pit board back across. Dan Elliott changes the front tire. The rear tire is Chuck Hill, and the jack is Steve Caldwell. But look, no one working on the left side of the car. They have to come around and loosen both left side tires. Compare it again with the Wrangler crew effort. Here comes the Chevrolet to a halt. They go to work on the right side. Crew chief Kurt Shelburne at the right front tire. David Smith pumps the jack beneath the car, and watch for Mickey Meredith. There he comes across the wall, kneeling down at the left front tire. He will loosen those lug nuts, and when the jack drops, we have 3 tires almost complete. Watch the jack drop on the Coors Ford. Steve Caldwell will lower the jack, the left side still untouched. Look again, one more time. The jack is up, both right side tires are on. Watch David Smith. He just ready to twist that jack, drop the car, and we'll go to the left side, and they're ready to make a left side tire change. What a championship effort for the Wrangler crew.
Well, we've reviewed a lot of tapes of other teams, our team, and you know, we may see something that just saves one movement of the hand or anything, and you know, we discuss it and talk about it, different ways of doing things, and occasionally during a pit stop we will try a little something different, and hope we can see it on film, or I'll be timing that particular stop or that particular movement and see what it looks like, and if it looks good, we'll try it, and if it's real good, we'll put it in our game plan.
They are a championship crew. For the past 2 years, they've won the Unocal Pit Crew Championship, setting a record in 85 and 86.
And they did some fine work on the pit stop that was just completed because they have put their driver, Dale Earnhardt, in that 3rd position. We have just gone green, back to racing. Ricky Rudd is at the point at the moment with Terry Labonte running 2nd, then Dale Earnhardt, followed by Alan Kulwicki, then Kyle Petty and Neil Bonnet.
Dale Earnhardt started on the outside of row number 11. 22nd position, in case you joined us late. lap. That's where he qualified, and look where Dale Earnhardt is already. Is there a reason why these guys have won 50% of the races this year? I'd say that there are a whole pocket full, maybe a tool chest full of reasons why they have won. Everything has come together in 1987 for Richard Childress. Despite the fact that that car did not perform, and Labonte gets well out of the racing groove. And there goes Dale Earnhardt to the inside, and Dale Earnhardt now picks up yet another position. Despite the fact they didn't qualify strong, they are race day ready yet again.
And let's go to the pit area, and we can get a report on Bobby Hillin Jr.'s situation.
Well, Bob, the good news is Bobby Hillin's okay, but you sure had a barbecue in the back of this thing.
Yeah, I think the 18 car blew up right in front of me. About the time I saw smoke coming out from under it, I was already spun out in the corner, and so we hit the wall pretty hard, but hopefully they can get the Miller American Buick back out there.
Well, it's beginning to look like a junkyard here with Phil Parsons' car, Bobby Hillin's car, and also Dale Jarrett's car. A lot of wreckage already, and it's early in the race.
There sure is some good action on the racetrack, though. It's side-by-side and wheel-to-wheel racing. Dale Earnhardt still trying to go into second position, trying to pass Terry Labonte. Now he gets about a half a car length ahead of Labonte. Kyle Petty, we're seeing a little bit of tire smoke from that car. He's trailing Alan Kulwicki and Earnhardt.
Bob, not tire smoke. Kyle Petty has got a problem in the drivetrain in the engine department. Kyle Petty is coming pitward.
Well, he was the fastest car on the racetrack before we had that caution period. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Kyle Petty brings us at go forward down pit road. NASCAR had radioed and told Leonard Wood, you're going to have to bring that car in. It's smoking heavily on the racetrack. They don't see anything. That's Leonard Wood and Eddie Wood, Glenn Wood's son, looking beneath the hood. They have now put the hood back down. They jacked the car up and look beneath it. No fluid on the asphalt here on pit road. They are still looking beneath the car. A tough break for Kyle Petty here at Dover.
So Kyle Petty goes a lap down, but look at this tremendous battle for second position. Earnhardt and Terry Labonte are side by side. They have been for the last several laps. Earnhardt in number 3 Wrangler machine, and the Budweiser number 11, driven by Terry Labonte and Alan Kulwicki, is watching all of this from behind. Now he's going to try to position himself to the outside of the racetrack and pass Dale Earnhardt. They go into turn number 1, and now Kulwicki and Earnhardt are side by side as Labonte begins to pull away, but no, here comes Earnhardt back.
Boy, just terrific racing. Alan Kulwicki, the younger driver in terms of experiences in NASCAR Winston Cup racing in this trio, are running absolutely like a veteran. Labonte once again on that lane that's just about, a 1.5 car lengths high. He almost loses ground, but he seems to pick up the RPMs coming off the corners. There is Davey Allison, that other white car, in 4th position on your screen watching, and Earnhardt takes the advantage again, and Labonte trying to hold on.
Just tremendous racing. Last weekend at Richmond, Dale Earnhardt and Darrell Walter battled side by side literally for several laps in the early stages of the race, but neither driver made significant contact with the other. A very clean performance, and we're seeing the same here at Dover this afternoon. Terry Labonte holding off Dale Earnhardt. The battle for second position. Earnhardt, though, stands on the gas coming out of turn number 2. He's a little bit sideways and loses a few feet to Labonte. And Alan Kulwicki and Davey Allison watch all of this from behind. Kulwicki now will take the high road around Dale Earnhardt to see if he can pick up that 3rd spot.
Both Alan and Davey appear to be running a little quicker than Terry. It's difficult to assess how fast they are relative to Earnhardt because Earnhardt is also working on Labonte, but easily the 2 Fords are quicker than the 2 cars in front of them. Their job is, when they run side by side, who do you pick? I got to follow somebody. Now Kulwicki is at this moment stuck behind Earnhardt, so to speak. Now we'll see if Alan is quicker than the Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt.
The Fords are performing well here while we're watching this battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th position. We'll tell you that the Ford of Ricky Rudd is in the lead, and the Ford of Alan Kulwicki is in 4th position. Then Davey Allison is in 5th with another 4. We'll be back with more of our live coverage of the Delaware 500 right after this.
Xerox, the antifreeze that beats winter. Available now.
This is my lava machine. This is my lava machine, lava liquid. In 30 years of working with my hands, I've never used a hand cleaner like it. Power of pumice in a liquid. Feel it, powering away dirt, grease, just about anything. powering hands clean. I'm Roger Gustin. Friend, when I talk power, I know what I'm talking about.
Lava, liquid or bar. Powers hands clean.
I've tried it. Now I believe it. Denorex Tingles tells me it's doing more. Head and Shoulders, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denorex adds both an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head and Shoulders. Hello, Denorex.
All the names, all the games, all the time. Only on ESPN.
The Motorcraft Ford of Ricky Rudd leads the Delaware 500 with 68 laps completed. Rudd in the lead at the moment in the Bud Moore car. In second position at this time is the number 11 car driven by Terry Labonte and then Dale Earnhardt. There's a good look at Ricky Rudd from Chesapeake, Virginia. Back in second is Terry Labonte. There he is. He's pulled away now from Earnhardt just a little bit. Labonte in second in the Chevrolet. Then comes Dale Earnhardt in third position, also in a Chevy. Labonte, of course, in the Junior Johnson machine. There is Earnhardt, and there is Davey Allison, who was beginning to fall back just a little bit as Sterling Marlin took a position away from Davey.
Precisely, Bob. That's the man on the move right now, the Piedmont Olds of Sterling Marlin. There is Ricky Rudd. One note about Ricky Rudd. There is the defending champion of this race, so it's no fluke that Ricky Rudd is out in front.
We understand that Rick Wilson in car number 4, as we continue to watch this Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt fight, has been given the black flag. There is Sterling Marlin, who now has positioned himself behind Alan Kulwicki, and at the moment, Sterling Marlin in an Oldsmobile runs 5th.
Bob, he has been barreling from her. Marlin has been as quick as anybody on the racetrack. We have not had watches on him to compare him to the leader, but easily between the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place cars, Sterling Marlin is the man on the move. Earnhardt has once again closed in on the Labonte car. You're looking at Kulwicki, see how close they are. Alan is right there behind Labonte and Earnhardt. Right behind those 3 cars is Sterling Marlin, and he is the guy that everybody has got to watch.
There for a while, we thought Terry Labonte was going to put a little bit of racetrack between himself and Dale Earnhardt, but such is not the case as Earnhardt has caught him once again. So the battle for second between Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt. And we asked him about this racetrack, Dale Earnhardt, and the success he's had here.
Well, I think it's the time we spent on the racetrack. We've had a lot of different little troubles here. Tire troubles has been a big trouble here the last couple of years. You know, I think we'll get it settled down. It's one of them deals where you have a bad racetrack, but I think we can get it back together.
Earnhardt is proving that he does have it back together again, as he has performed well in the race despite a very poor starting position.
When we were here in the spring, tire problems that Dale Earnhardt alluded to were a major factor of the story here. But no such problem this week. The conditions were dramatically different than anybody ever anticipated when we were here in the spring. It was very warm. I was watching practice, for instance, on Saturday. You could actually see the cars going through the corners and laying down a patch of rubber as they were going through the 24-degree banking. But Goodyear came back. They really did their homework. Come back with tires that have stronger sidewalls and just a little more tread on them. The conditions have been very kind to them this week. It's been overcast and cool, but no such problem we had in the spring.
Terry Labonte doing a fine job of holding off Dale Earnhardt in the battle for second. Meanwhile, there is Cale Yarborough, who has moved up from his last row starting position and is in the top 10 at the moment. As a matter of fact, he is listed in 10th position.
Bob, you know, about 30, 40 laps ago, I was a little surprised to see all the really tight fender-to-fender racing that these guys were performing out there, because this is a long race. You figured that this race will go in the vicinity of 5 hours, 4.5 at least. And you really have to employ some strategy. Now, there is no race on the trail. All the drivers will tell you anymore that you can pace yourself all race long because everybody is so quick. But if there is one that really has to weigh on your mind as, gee, do I go maybe just 9/10 instead of 10/10 racing? It's here at Dover because it is so difficult. It is such an endurance contest to go 500 miles. Remember, 4 corners, 500 miles, that's 1,000 turns. That doesn't happen on any other course on the track.
There's the leader, Ricky Rudd, after 78 laps of this 500-lap race. Rudd has been our 4th leader of the afternoon so far here in the first 100 laps.
Kyle Petty has been brought in again by Winston Cup officials. The car is behind the pit wall. They have not headed toward the garage area. They're just inside the opening, but Kyle Petty and Leonard Wood are having a tough day here after having a good season this year, and they were certainly among the 5 quickest cars here at Dover in the early stages of this race. There they are down in the pits in that Cisco number 21 car trying to figure out what exactly is wrong.
Jerry Punch is right there.
They have a transmission problem here on the Cisco Ford. The Wood brothers brought him in early during that caution flag because the car was having a little bit of a smoke. And it went back to green and smoked a little bit worse. They came in, couldn't diagnose the problem. Now they think they may have a transmission still leaking. They have the car behind the wall, and yes, they're looking at it is leaking from the transmission area. They're going to try to fix it and get him back out.
Before we had that second caution period for the Dale Jarrett and Bobby Hill and Jr. crash, Kyle Petty was really moving, but something has gone wrong apparently with the transmission that has put Kyle Petty in the pit area. We're still watching this battle for second position. It's definitely the best one on the racetrack as Terry Labonte continues to hold off Dale Earnhardt for the moment as Ricky Rudd in the Motorcraft Ford leads at the Delaware 500. Back with more of our live coverage after these messages.
Driving down the highway, always on the move. When you're driving with Big A, you know the road ahead is smooth.
We've got a muffler that fights rust. It's the Big A Advantage muffler with Absorbite, a revolutionary rust inhibitor. It helps absorb moisture inside the muffler before rust can start. Get the Big A Advantage. It puts rust at a disadvantage.
Riding with Big A, you know the road is running smooth.
Big A, the first letter in auto parts.
Larry Newber, Dick Berggren, and Jerry Punch back at Dover Downs International Raceway, where Ricky Rudd is the leader of the Delaware 500. And now the second place drivers are Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt as they battle for that second position. Labonte in second right now, and Earnhardt is in third. Fourth belongs to Alan Kulwicki, and in fifth is Sterling Marlin. Have been running together for the last several laps, but Earnhardt just can't seem to get by Labonte, as there you can see Alan Kulwicki and how close he is with Sterling Marlin.
Two of the people who have been competitive from time to time in the 1987 season, but never have won on the Winston Cup Trail. Alan Kulwicki, of course, coming out of the ranks of the Midwest, the American Speed Association. He was never really a big winner with them, but you always felt that he had the potential, and I've commented many times on how much the factor of timing is such a big force in motor racing. And for Alan Kulwicki, the timing was never right for him to be a big winner. And actually, on balance, Bob, when you think about it, Alan Kulwicki has been a touch more successful in Winston Cup racing than he was in American Speed Association racing, although he did win a couple times with ASA.
Well, the drivers are hard at work out there on the racetrack, but there's also some hard work going on in the Kyle Petty pit as his crew is underneath the car trying to fix the transmission problem that has put Kyle behind the wall for the moment.
He, of course, is very much involved in points. Lots of dollars up for grabs at the banquet in New York City in December. So that's why all this hard work goes on during the running of a race, despite the fact you lose lap after lap after lap. The point system is such that it rewards the more laps you run, the more your chances are of accumulating more points.
Bonnie Ann Earnhardt passing the number 12 car that's being driven this weekend by Larry Caudill. There's the leader. You can see the interval now between first and second as Rudd has moved out to a rather substantial advantage at the moment. They're second and third, so it's about almost a full straightaway.
Ricky Rudd, you know, was the subject of the biggest official news that was released this week here at this racetrack as we go back to the cars of number 7 Alan Kulwicki and 44 Sterling Marlin again. Ricky Rudd, there was a news conference this week in which the Kenny Bernstein Quaker State King Racing Team announced they have signed Ricky Rudd for the next 2 seasons. He will replace Morgan Shepherd. So Rudd very much looking forward to the future of his Winston Cup career, giving his Bud Moore car a very good ride today as Kulwicki and Sterling Marlin continue to run solidly in the top 5.
Well, let's go back in the pack a little bit and check on some progress of some of the other competitors. There is Bill Elliott, who is currently in 11th spot in the Coors Melling Ford. Right ahead of him is Cale Yarborough, who, as we indicated earlier, started from the very last row of this race. And Bobby Allison is also running with this trio, but Bill has been moving up and closing in on Yarborough and Allison the past several laps.
By the way, Earnhardt's 11 wins in 1987 matched that incredible season that Bill Elliott had in 1985 when he won 11 times. But the big difference is that Dale Earnhardt has been winning on all kinds of racetracks, short tracks, mid-sized tracks like here at Dover and the super speedways. Elliott's win, of course, almost came exclusively on the super tracks.
Bobby Allison in the number 22 car has already won once this year on the Winston Cup circuit. He's leading this trio down the backstretch. The win, of course, came at the Firecracker 400 at Daytona. However, that was his first and only finish in the top 5 so far this year.
But the converse of that, as we take a look at Cale Yarborough, has done a very great job today for Bobby Allison. He historically is one of the big winners here at Dover. He has won 7 times and ties Richard Petty for the most wins ever at this racetrack with those 7.
Kyle Petty has rejoined the race in the Wood Brothers car number 21. We'll watch for his performance, and we'll see if that correction has been made in the transmission that put him on the sidelines for numerous laps as we continue to watch Bobby Allison, Cale Yarborough, and Bill Elliott. There's the number 12 car once again of Larry Caudill. That's being lapped.
They just put a lap on DK's car, DK Ulrich's car for this week. Driver, Rick Duke, and who, of course, made most of his name in the IMSA ranks.
And there is Rusty Wallace leading Richard Petty in the number 43 car and Darrell Waltrip in number 17 as Waltrip and Petty are side by side on the racetrack.
You know, the real key is that they've been able to stay on the lead lap. They have not been nearly as competitive, particularly Wallace's situation, as he has been throughout most of the season. But Bob mentioned earlier how important it is here at Dover to stay on the lead lap because you can lose it very quickly. But as long as you're on that lap, one yellow flag, and no matter how fast or how slow that you have been all race long up till there, if you've stayed on the lead lap, you've still got a very excellent chance.
Kyle Petty unofficially in 18th position at the moment.
Richard Petty, the man who really changed the face of stock car racing for all time to come, the man who has spanned a number of generations, and he says, hey, I think I can do another one. You've seen his last 3 races. He's done well. He's had a 5th, a 3rd, and a 5th. He has been in a position to win several times this season, but it just hasn't happened. He hasn't had as strong a weekend here at Dover as he has some of the earlier races of this season. His chances don't appear to be as good this weekend as they did, say, 3, 4, and 5 races ago.
Bill Elliott continues his movement toward the front as he has disposed of Cale Yarborough. Now sets his sight on Bobby Allison. We have 19 cars that are still on the lead lap, so almost half of the field remains in the lead lap, and we are very close to the end of the first 100 miles. 99 laps are in the books at the moment. Look at Bill Elliott trying to take the position away from Bobby Allison. He goes to the inside of the racetrack. Coming out of the 4th corner in front of the grandstand, Bill Elliott and Bobby Allison are side by side into turn number 1. Bobby Allison, a leader of the race here in May when we televised that contest, but he is losing a position to Bill Elliott at the moment.
Very methodical. Bill Elliott has been like the Soviet dynasty. 2 steps forward and maybe a half a step back. Pass somebody, relax for just a split second and move on. As Alan Kowicki has pulled into the pit. Alan Kowicki, an on-schedule pit stop on lap 100. Remember, all of the leaders came in about 50 laps ago.
Well, they looked at the right rear tire, so maybe Alan told them that he thought the tire was going down. They've taken the opportunity to put some fuel in the car, and he makes a very quick stop and goes back out onto the race. But Alan Kowicki, our pole sitter and who led the early stages, has made an unscheduled stop.
There is Elliott leading Bobby Allison and Cale Yarborough. Cale Yarborough winless in 1987. Elliott is one of 3 drivers, other than Dale Earnhardt, who has been able to win more than 1 race this year. Bill has won 3 times on the big tracks at Daytona, Talladega, and Michigan, all the ultra super speedways. Davey Allison has won twice, and Tim Richmond twice.
Now we see Dale Earnhardt bidding once again for 2nd position. These guys have been going at it side by side for probably 50 laps, and Earnhardt now inches just ahead on the inside of the racetrack in corner number 4. The crowd rises to its feet to see who will cross the line. It is Labonte still able to hold off Dale Earnhardt's challenge for 2nd, but what a great battle it is.
There have been times here at Dover that some fans have criticized Dover as being a 1-lane racetrack, but Labonte and Earnhardt are disproving that. At least in 1987, this is anything but a 1-lane racetrack because Earnhardt seems to have the advantage on Terry. Terry just holds his line, which is about a car length and a half up the high side on the banking, and he gets the momentum coming off of turns 4 and 2 and is able to hold back Dale Earnhardt.
Let's get down to the pit area and get a reason from Jerry on why Alan Kowicki made that unscheduled stop.
We're with Billy Engel here at the Z-Rex pits, and Billy, the unscheduled stop, what was that for?
We stopped because he felt like it was running out of fuel. The fuel pressure gauge started fluctuating. We should have been able to run another 30, 40 laps. We had to come in early. He said it felt like it was running out of fuel.
Well, possibly a fuel pickup problem. They'd only run 53 laps, so it may be a long day for Alan Kowicki.
Alan back up to speed, though, on the racetrack, but he has lost a lap when he came in for that unscheduled stop. The lead continues to be held by Ricky Rudd, and we are past the 1/5 mark of this race. 105 laps in the book of 500.
Racing from the inside. No one covers it like Auto Week. Auto Week makes you an insider at the world's great races every week. In the pits, behind the scenes, in the cockpit, with columnists who race and win. Inside coverage of Formula cars, stockers, sports cars, just days after the race. Auto Week puts you inside the world's most exciting cars every week. Right behind the wheel, inside the whole automotive scene. Personalities, cars of the past, industry news. Let Auto Week make you an insider, too. Call 1-800-554-3000 to get Auto Week at the lowest price ever. Just $17.25 for 52 issues, only 33 cents a week. Save 25% off the basic rate. Get Auto Week today. Call 1-800-554-3000. Operators are standing by. Let Auto Week make you an insider.
I'd no sooner settle for a flake in my hair than a spot on my uniform.
You pass the test, you're good grooming. That's the look of success. Your head and shoulders above the rest.
Regular shampoos just rinse flakes. Head & Shoulders goes to the source to help stop flakes.
And that's doing it right.
Your head and shoulders above the rest.
A tradition of horsepower. Budweiser and the king of beers. A tradition of horsepower that's making waves. Racing fans, this Bud's for you.
The leader of the Delaware 500 at Dover Down Speedway is Ricky Rudd, and there he is on the racetrack. Jimmy Means in car number 52 being lapped by our leader. And in second position now is Dale Earnhardt. You can see that he has finally gotten by Terry Labonte. They battled side by side and nose to tail for several laps. But here's how Earnhardt went into second.
Yeah, how it happened, Bob, is that Dale was trying to get the advantage underneath Terry. And after about 10 or 15 laps, he finally gave up and said, well, maybe Terry does have something up there. I'll go northward, see if it works. And sure enough, his first attempt at passing on the outside of Terry Labonte was successful. And as you can see, he's put some distance between himself and the now third running Terry Labonte.
Perhaps those lap cars that are on the inside of the racetrack also played a part in Earnhardt's maneuver around Labonte, but nevertheless, as you indicated, he now begins to pull away from Terry and close in on Ricky Rudd, who is our leader.
Ricky Rudd is a member of the Winners Club for 1987. He won at Atlanta earlier this year. Remember, it was a race that appeared to belong to Benny Parsons. And then a late yellow brought all the leaders into the pits, and Ricky apparently got the best set of tires coming out after that final pit stop, and he roared on to victory. But he's been close all year long, particularly strong on the road courses. He's had some very good races on short tracks, and the Dover racetrack seems to be one of those configurations of racetracks that Ricky Rudd really takes to.
Well, the fourth place runner at the moment is Sterling Marlin in the Piedmont Oldsmobile, car number 44. He's running behind Earnhardt and Labonte. And for a story on Sterling Marlin, let's go to the pit area and Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, the fact that this car is running that well is a surprise to a lot of people, maybe because the team has undergone a lot of adversity this year. They lost their driver, Terry Labonte, at the end of last season. Just a few weeks ago, they lost their crew chief, Steve Mill. He's the new crew chief for Jack Roush's 88 operation. But a couple of people are responsible. One man, this car on the right here, Billy Hagan, he would not let the team falter. He brought them back together. He boosted morale. And what he did, well, he hired Suitcase Jake Elder, the guy standing on the wall right behind me. And Jake Elder, veteran crew chief for people like Dale Earnhardt and Kel Yarborough over the years, he has put this team back together, and they are headed to the front. Sterling Marlin running fourth here today.
Old Suitcase Jake always seems to bring an element of success to any team he associates himself with, and Sterling Marlin is having one of his best days ever in Winston Cup competition this year, running fourth.
Bob, this is an important race for them. There is a lot of thought going into the future of this team. There have been rumors about it coming apart at the seams, but certainly today it does not look like that at all, with Jake Elder at the controls right now as far as in the pits, and Sterling Marlin having a good day, and Billy Hagan very much involved.
And the leader, Ricky Rudd, is about to put a lap on Rusty Wallace. He has already put a lap on Richard Petty, and now Rusty Wallace gives way on the high side to the leader, Ricky Rudd.
Boy, that is a scene that has not been available in Winston Cup racing the past couple of months. Wallace going a lap down. Jerry is down in the pits.
Kel Yarborough in the Hardee's Oldsmobile in for an unscheduled pit stop. They have a mess in the car. The hood is up. Cliff Champion and the rest of the Hardee's crew. What an abysmal weekend it has been for Kel Yarborough. He destroyed a car yesterday in practice. Had to roll this car into the truck, the car they ran at Darlington earlier in the year. And he has not had a good weekend. Trouble continues for the Hardee's Ford. Hardee's Oldsmobile.
Now the work continues. The hood is up. Meanwhile, on the racetrack, the battle for fifth position is between Bill Elliott, who takes fifth position from Davey Allison. A couple of Fords doing battle there, and Bill Elliott's car seems to be working well.
Boy, he really is, Bob. Since that first pit stop, apparently Ernie and Dan down in the pits attempted a couple of things that were different from the setup on the car at the start of the race. They obviously have worked.
So Bill Elliott has moved up now to fifth position. And Elliott's last win was at the Michigan 400 that we televised for you not too long ago. Now the interval that Ricky Rudd enjoys over Dale Earnhardt has been hovering right around the 4-second mark. And we've got a clock now that we're going to see the lap time of Bill Elliott. But the interval between first and second, I have it about 3.5 seconds.
Bill Elliott taking you on a tour, a very brief tour. It only takes less than 25 seconds around the mile racetrack here at Dover. You can see Elliott is off of that line on the bottom of the racetrack. You can hit that apex about 2/3 of the way around the turns when you're qualifying, but depending on how the car is set up, you may not use it during the race. 26 seconds flat for Bill Elliott on that one lap. Now we'll go back up front and check on the progress of leader Ricky Rudd.
And the word was that Elliott was running about a half second faster than the leader, Ricky Rudd, and we're going to see right now. Remember, Elliott turned a lap of 26 seconds flat, and here is Ricky Rudd already in turn number 3 on his lap. We could find that Elliott has the fastest car on the racetrack. No, in just a second, here comes Ricky off the corner, about to stop the clock. There it is. Well, it's almost exactly even, as a matter of fact.
138.462 miles per hour average speed, 1 mile. The pole speed average was 145.8 by Alan Cowick.
So Ricky Rudd continues to lead the Delaware 500. We are live with 125 laps completed.
When you were young, you remember Walgreen Rented Drug, the store that cared and helped you like a friend. Now you're the one with a family, and just like mom and dad, you need a place on which you can depend. We care for your family at Rented Drug.
Another one of life's little problems.
We've got 3 TVs, so everyone's happy, right? No. See, everybody wants to watch the TV with cable, so we work out this schedule. On Mondays, my wife Judy gets 9 to 3, I get 5 to 7. Tuesdays, I get 5 to 7, Judy gets 7 to 9. Wednesdays, the kids flip a coin to...
The simple solution.
I called my cable company and ordered additional hookups. So for just a few extra bucks, I can have cable on every TV in the house. So now I can watch what I want, Judy can watch what she wants.
Make it easy on yourself with an additional hookup. Call today.
It's the ultimate NFL highlight show. Every Sunday, see the greatest action from every game played that day. More NFL highlights than ever before in one show. Join Chris Berman, Pete Axthelm, and Tom Jackson for NFL Prime Time. Sundays at 7 Eastern, only on ESPN.
We'll bring you up to date on all the NFL scores from this weekend on NFL Monday with Chris Berman, Ali Sherman, and Sam Rutigliano. That's at 7:30 tomorrow night here on ESPN as we bring you all of the highlights from the NFL second weekend.
Seems as though it certainly will be prudent to tune in to it also, Bob, because that may be the last weekend of NFL football as we know it for a while.
Tough break for Bill Elliott, running 5th, makes a stop. However, this could be a routine stop. We're at lap 129.
Well, it's almost 80 laps since the last time, so you're right. It's possible it could be routine. Dick Bergman, what do you think down there?
I don't think so. The crew wasn't really ready for him. They all of a sudden scrambled to their feet when he came down pit road. I doubt this is a routine pit stop. If it was, they caught everybody by surprise. Right now, the engine has stalled. Elliott is not running. There it's caught, and there he goes.
19-second pit stop for Bill Elliott. They changed rubber on the right side of the car and put fuel in it. But Elliott drops from 5th now and goes a lap down. But again, it's easy to lose a lap here, and it's also very easy to gain the lap back. There is Ricky Rudd, the leader, and behind him, the number 1 car being driven by Brett Bodine.
Remember in the spring race also, Bill Elliott, as Darrell Waltrip is now pitting, was one of the 2 drivers who was in it for victory down at the end of the race. It came down to Elliott and Allison. That's Davey, of course.
And Darrell Waltrip's Tide machine is in for a stop, and apparently we are seeing now the early routine pit stops being made. They changed rubber on the right side of that car, and Darrell Waltrip climbs back into action after a 14.3-second stop.
85 laps, so that may be a little inside the window. Here comes Ricky Rudd, though, so it's pretty obvious that everybody thinks it's time to go. Dick Bergman is standing by in the leader's pit. Here comes Ricky Rudd.
And this is indeed a scheduled pit stop. Elliott's stop was not scheduled. He ran out of fuel 2 laps before his crew expected to see him in. Rudd's guys They have been ready. They've been going through the tires. They've got the set that they're going to put on the outside. Going to take a full load of fuel, and he'll be gone. Rudd, good stop. He's gone.
Good stop for Ricky. It's 13.5 seconds. Sterling Marlin in the number 44 Piedmont Airlines car also in. Let's go to Jerry.
15.4-second pit stop for the Piedmont Airlines Underalls Oldsmobile. Good work by Jake Elder and the crew here for Sterling Marlin.
Pit stops are coming on lap number 134. As Sterling Marlin goes up on the banking and rejoins the hunt. Now here is the leader, Dale Earnhardt, also coming in for his second pit stop of the race. The Richard Childress crew will go to work. Here's Dick Berggren.
Oh, we love to watch these guys work. This is absolute poetry in motion. Here they go. Right side tires. One of the best pit crews ever to hit Winston competition. Kirk Shelby, the crew chief. He's the right front tire man. David Smith on the jacks. Right side tires already in. One can of fuel in. Second one in, and there he goes. Beautiful stop by Earnhardt.
15 seconds for Dale Earnhardt. They changed only the tires on the right side of the car, and Earnhardt also is back in competition.
Difficult to assess, Bob, but it appeared as though they were giving just a little more attention to the left side, like right underneath the driver's door than normal, but everything appears to be as usual out on the racetrack, and Earnhardt is up to the front despite qualifying outside, remember, in the top 20 today. It's absolutely astounding how strong this team has become in 1987.
Earnhardt picking up speed as Harry Gant's car is very slow on the racetrack. And we're looking for, and there he is, Terry Labonte, who has not made this second pit stop, and at the moment is the leader of the Delaware 500. However, we anticipate a pit stop by Terry Labonte in a few laps. It will not be this time, as he passes the entrance to pit road and stays on the racetrack behind Richard Petty.
In the category of victories in 1987, the only thing more astounding than Dale Earnhardt winning 11 of the 22 scheduled races is that the driver and team of car number 11 have not won this year. That is one of the strongest operations, and it has been for the past couple of decades. They are winless so far in 1986.
Jerry Punch once again.
Jeff Bodine brings the Levi Garrett Chevrolet on the pit road. Routine pit stop under green flag. They ran 87 green flag laps. Right side tires for Gary Nelson and the crew. Waiting to get the car completely full of fuel. They sit, they wait, and he's down the way. Neil Bonnet pulling his car down pit road. Scheduled pit stop here at Dover.
Also, Benny Parsons has been service. He's back out there. Richard Petty, who you see there on the left side of your screen, is in. And here comes the leader, Terry Labonte. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Labonte still has not arrived in his pits yet, but he's one of the last of the leaders to pit, and that is a good sign for this team. That's an indication that they are getting excellent fuel mileage, among the very best of anybody here today. They make a chassis adjustment in the rear of the car to try to make it handle a little bit better. Outside tires on the car now. One can of fuel in, second can going in. Crew chief Tim Brewer says, move that tire. Oh, they just moved the tire away from the front in time. That is teamwork, and Labonte gets out. That was almost a disaster.
But it worked out for him, 17.4. Let's go to Jerry, who's with Rusty Wallace.
And the Kodiak crew working on Rusty Wallace's Pontiac right side tires. Both cans of fuel. Good pit stop. 14 and 3 seconds. Excellent stop for Rusty Wallace.
Barry Dodson and the crew get Rusty Wallace in and out rather quickly. Rusty, it appears, having a little bit of trouble getting back up to speed. The car still is faltering a little bit. He stays to the apron of the racetrack. Now it begins to gain speed and go up one of the 24 degrees of banking.
Considering as strong as they have been in the last couple of months, that car, Barry Dodson, the Raymond Beetle, the Drag Racers race team, just doesn't have it today.
And there is Davey Allison, who has not yet made his second stop, and so he is the leader of this race, and he apparently getting rather good fuel mileage. And Rudd is now second with Earnhardt third, and the number 1 car, Brett Bodine, being shown in fourth. But Bodine and Davey Allison have not pitted.
One of the hallmarks of this team has been good fuel mileage, but Bob, you mentioned Allison is approaching 100 laps or 100 miles. Looks like he may be coming in this time. Yeah, he's slowing down. There goes Marcus leading him as Dave comes around and concludes one other lap. But here comes Davey Allison, who drops out of the race, or rather drops into the pit area, leading. Our Dick Berggren is there.
And here comes Davey Allison. Robert Yates, the engine man, is on the jack. The crew chief, Joey Knuckles, he's the most acrobatic of all the crew chiefs on the Winston Cup circuit. He's your right front tire man. Wow, that right front tire is off already. Yates now helping him with the right front tire. Tank of fuel in there. Jerry Punch has one up the pits. Oh, tires all on. Davey Allison is out. Jerry, what's going on with Bodine?
Well, Brett Bodine brings the Bullseye Barbecue Sauce Chevrolet in for his pit stop. He currently is showing fourth on the Speedway. Right side tire change complete. They want to get the car completely full of fuel. Now it's full, down and away. 19 seconds for Brett Bodine.
Bullseye Barbecue Sauce car. Haas Ellington goes back in competition, and there is a driver who is surrounded by much speculation about 1988. No official announcement yet, though.
Yeah, Bob, I had a brief conversation with Brett, and he says that two of the very well-established Winston Cup teams are among his better prospects for 1988, but he's still talking and shopping.
After this series of pit stops, it is basically the way it was before the pit stops, as Ricky Rudd is in the lead, and Earnhardt is in second, and now watch this as Terry Labonte and Sterling Marlin are right together on the racetrack for fifth. Sterling Marlin has got to feel really racy in that Piedmont Oldsmobile, the blue and white number 44, as he has been in the top 5 now for about 100 laps and is very, very competitive. Meanwhile, up front, it is still Ricky Rudd and Dale Earnhardt, and Earnhardt now closes right in on that Motorcraft Ford of Ricky Rudd and may be making a bid for the lead here in just a few moments.
Earnhardt has not led a lap today. We have not gotten the official word from NASCAR. Maybe during that last round of pit stops, he might have snuck in one, but under green conditions, he has not led a lap today. He'd very much like to keep the tradition going and do it.
We have a crash in turn number 2. Car spinning at the bottom of the racetrack is Dave Simcoe in number 51. Didn't hit anything. In fact, did a nice job of keeping the car off the wall. He slid to the inside of the racetrack and has got it headed in the right direction. It does, however, bring out a caution flag, and this is the caution flag the drivers needed about 10 laps ago to make pit stops.
Nobody needs it now. I doubt that anybody will come in because everyone has ducked in the last 10 laps. David Simcoe, of course, the brother of Patty Simcoe, whom we have seen on ESPN this year, running at the Indianapolis Speedrome, an open cockpit midget. Patty is most frequently behind the wheel, however, of a late model stock car running in ARCA.
The third caution flag of the afternoon comes out on lap number 150. Harold Kinzer displays the flag, and that will encourage several of the top runners to come in for another pit stop. Perhaps if they didn't get new rubber on the left side during that routine stop a few minutes ago, they will be doing so, and of course they'll top the car off with fuel.
Good point. The tire wear obviously has been excellent today because the order of the day has been changing right side rubber and not worrying too much about left side, but this gives the crews an opportunity to do that. They're going to go to the left side now. There is the race for the lead. You can see 3 of the front runners. Ricky Rudd at the top of your screen, in the middle Terry Labonte, and the bottom is Earnhardt, and Labonte gets out.
So the race for the lead actually in the pits, but the lead has now gone to Terry Labonte. Earnhardt comes out in third position as Ricky Rudd was able to get out behind Labonte. Here's a replay of the reason why we're under caution. David Simcoe.
There you can see him on the right-hand side of your screen. Looked like he was in heavy traffic. It appears to be Kenny Schrader that he was dealing with as he came around turn number 1 and got into the midpoint between 1 and 2. Just began to get away from David. He got on the brakes, hunkered her down, slowed it down, and gained control back.
Well, we have some yellow paint there on the right front of Buddy Baker. He may have had some body contact with others. Apparently, he was the one that had a brush with David Simcoe there in turn number 1. So Buddy Baker's Crisco Oldsmobile is in for a fuel up. Back with more of the Delaware 500 from Dover Downs.
Take me back where I belong. Take me where it's safe and warm.
The Goodyear Vector is the all-season radial that pumps water away to keep more tire tread on the road. And for some, that's a comforting thought.
Take me home, Goodyear, take me home. Never matters how far I go, Goodyear, take me home.
have to be a mom today.
Coast, the scent opens your eyes. Coast leather, and you realize that Coast is the way to make you feel alive. Coast, feel alive.
Hey, I was just warming up.
Feel alive with Coast.
Still under caution at Dover Down Speedway as an accident, or actually a spin up in turn number 1 by David Simcoe, has brought out the caution, and most of the leaders have made pit stops, and Harold Kinder is watching the field, determining when the green flag will drop once again on the field.
152 laps are now down. There is Terry Labonte, who will set the pace on this restart. They're in the bullseye number 1 car. Brett Bodine, of course. Labonte will be challenged when that green flag drops by Ricky Rudd, along with Dale Earnhardt. Easily, Rudd and Earnhardt have been the 2 most impressive at this 150-lap mark in today's race here at Dover.
Top 7 are Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt, Neil Bonnet, then the number 28 car of Davey Allison. 6th at the moment is Alan Kulwicki, and 7th is the 44 of Sterling Marmon. The green flag comes back out. Labonte beginning to pull away now from Ricky Rudd and the others as they go down the backstretch. Brett Bodine behind Dale Earnhardt, and Benny Parsons, number 35 machine, is also right there. The green car on the high side of the racetrack. Benny a lap down.
The green car there in the middle of the group is Benny Parsons. Benny has lost a lap. There's Neil Bonnet, of course, in the blue and white and red trim Valvoline number 75. And there is Davey Allison. Again, Parsons a lap down. Allison, Kulwicki, Bonnet are on the lead lap. Kulwicki really gaining an advantage with these yellow flags here. Remember, he had to stop under green when he thought he had a tire going down. He has worked himself back into the lead lap rather suddenly.
Dick Berggren has a report on Ernie Elliott. Dick?
Well, Ernie Elliott, you guys have been pitting after everybody else. Why are you pitting late?
Well, we're just making some chassis adjustments because we anticipated the weather to be clear today. And we went with a normal setup here, which is not right since it stayed overcast. So we're just trying to adjust all that back out of the car.
How close are you now? There's Ernie Elliott. He's now trying to listen to his... Ernie Elliott's trying to listen to his driver, time-lapse and talk to us at the same time, and also figure out what to do about this chassis. They're trying to get it sorted out.
I guarantee it's very difficult to hear down there in the pit area. It's almost the situation we had at Bristol, where the high banks cause the noise of the race cars to reverberate, and when you're standing in the middle of all of it, it's very difficult to hear. Now there is Buddy Baker and Ken Schrader right ahead of the in-car camera of Rick Wilson. Schrader alongside Wilson now down the backstretch. Schrader and Bobby Allison become side-by-side competitors here on the main straightaway going into turn number 1. Again, you're looking from the rear of the Kodak-sponsored Rick Wilson car.
On the clocks, the cars are on the straightaways here about 5 or 6 seconds, but Benny Parsons told me earlier this week that in reality it's only about 3 seconds, because the second and a half entering the straightaway and the second half preparing for the corner, you're preparing for it. You're darting the car. You're pointing it in one direction or another. So there is work going on. Very little time to relax and catch your breath on a 1-mile racetrack, particularly one that you can get around about 140 miles an hour average speed.
Richard Petty and Rick Wilson. Wilson now closes right in on the rear bumper of Richard Petty. Perhaps Petty holding back Rick just a little bit as now Petty slides high on the racetrack, allowing Rick Wilson to pass rather easily. Of course, Richard likes to stay up there in that high groove, but now here comes Petty back.
With the contemporary cars, Bob, Dover is a great racetrack because you mentioned earlier there was a time when people said, oh, it's just a one-lane racetrack. It's real difficult to pass. But the new cars are a lot more maneuverable than the cars of maybe even 5 or 6 years ago. And it's not easy to pass at Dover, but you can get it done. On many of the super speedways, if you got a faster car, you just wait till the opportunity when the lane opens up on the inside and you zoom around. There is no contest. Kyle goes underneath Richard Petty. Bobby Allison has just gone underneath Richard Petty. But here at Dover, you have to work your way to get around. It's not impossible. You can do it. You see the drivers doing it, but it's a driver's racetrack. You have to handle well. You have to think. You have to plan ahead. You have to work.
Apparently that transmission problem that beset Kyle Petty early in the race has been corrected because he is racing now with his father. Now there was Phil Parsons on the left side as Rick Wilson moved around Phil. He was in the crash on the very opening lap of the race. They've made repairs to that car. It doesn't look like a whole race car out on the speedway, but nevertheless, Phil Parsons is out there in competition. We're live at Dover Downs International Speedway in Delaware for the Delaware 500. Labonte leads at the lead of 163.
Xerox, the antifreeze that beats winter. Available now.
If you want to feel unwelcome, try cashing a check out of town. But if you want an invitation at over 500 locations in more than 30 states, all you need is a checking account with a member of the First Nationwide Network, the bankers that changed banking.
When you buy a pair of Corning prescription lenses that change, it's like getting free light tints, free medium tints, dark tints, and a whole range of free sunglasses. Corning lenses. When you're buying eyeglasses, these are the ones to buy.
An interesting race developing on the track. That's Alan Kulwicki in number 7 and Dale Earnhardt in number 3. Kulwicki is on the lead lap, and he is really battling now with Earnhardt. Earnhardt's car, to me, doesn't seem like it's handling all that well. And here they come out of the 4th turn. The crowd again rises to its feet, cheering and yelling, and Earnhardt still holding off Alan Kulwicki.
Certainly the Childress Wrangler Jeans 3 car is not as strong as it was in the green flag segment that spanned lap number 100. Passing, we were talking about that just before the break. It's really a matter of RPMs on a banked racetrack because you don't have to brake terribly hard. You use them here at this racetrack, and it's a matter of keeping the RPMs up. You see that Alan Kulwicki will get the advantage and will nose ahead of Dale, but when he does so, he's down at the bottom of the racetrack. It's longer around upside on the banks, but you can keep the engine revved up more, and Dale gets that momentum coming out of turns 2 and turns 4. So it's a matter of RPMs. Alan has to either get underneath, get in hard, be able to keep the RPMs down up, even though there's not quite as much banking force down on the bottom. And Earnhardt, of course, even though he sees Alan alongside, he's got to stay on the throttle, but Alan may have him this time. As he races into turn number 1, hard on the throttle again, he holds down on the inside of Earnhardt. He doesn't have him yet.
Well, remember, during the last series of pit stops, Earnhardt was the 3rd out behind Labonte and Rudd. So perhaps the Richard Childress crew was trying at that time to make some chassis adjustments. Here is Earnhardt, though, still about a half a car length in 3rd place. Allen in 4th. Meanwhile, Davey Allison is watching all of this from behind. Rick Wilson is slowing on the main straightaway. Everybody here in front of us rose to its feet. Apparently, Rick tried to come into the pits and was going a little bit too fast. He decided at the last moment not to. Stayed out on the racetrack. Here it is. That's Wilson there in car number 4. He was way down on the apron of the racetrack, but almost lost it. Rear end getting almost around on him, but he saved it and is now coming in as we speak for a pit stop.
A carbon copy of what we saw Davey Allison do in the spring race this year. There's a little bit of loose material, gravel, between the pit lane and the inside of the racetrack, and if you get one of your rear wheels on it, you can see it's a real handful.
Jerry punches in with Wilson.
Well, Rick Wilson pounds the steering wheel in frustration as he comes down pit road in the Kodak Oldsmobile, and he leaves pit road. He had a right side tire going down, a right tire leaking down. driving the car. Let's go down pit road to Dick Berggren.
And I'm with Kirk Shelmerdine. He is Dale Earnhardt's crew chief. Kirk, how is your car running right now? Are you okay?
Well, that set there is a little bit too loose. The tires I'm talking about. The car's a little bit too sideways right now.
Can you fix that on the next pit stop, or is this something you struggle with all day?
It kind of goes back and forth all day. We change it. That's the biggest thing we do here. So hopefully we'll get it fixed the next time.
Well, back and forth is a good sign. That means they're close. Earnhardt's gang going to adjust the car next time in for sure.
He's still in third position, though, as at the moment, the challenge of Alan Kowicki has dissipated. Back in the pack, meanwhile, some other racing going on. Look at a pack of cars headed down into turn number 1. That's Brett Bodine in number 1, Sterling Marlin in 44, and Neil Bonnet, who is having a great race in number 75. He is 7th at the moment.
There are so many people. It seems like we've been saying this all year because Earnhardt's been so dominant, but so many people who really need to have a good race or two here at the latter stages of 1987. And certainly the Raymock car, number 75 car that Bonnet pilots, is one of those. So they appear to be a threat for second place in points. Earlier in the season, they were stringing together top 5 finishes, but it's cooled off in the last 8 or 10 races.
Well, the battle for third between Earnhardt and Kowicki has gone away, but now Kowicki is fighting to keep that 4th spot as Davey Allison is beginning to challenge Allen.
Bob, there's another thing that a mile racetrack does. It keeps everybody close. It keeps the competitive edge of the cars close. Again, going back to the ultra speeds and the super speedways. They are exciting, and they certainly have their own charm. But if one car is running strong, it gives that car the ability to put a great deal of distance between itself and the other fellow competitors that are nearby. But on a mile racetrack, those ultimate speeds just don't surface. You're down in the vicinity of 135 mile an hour average speed. It has a tendency to keep the cars close. You saw Kowicki appear to be quicker than Earnhardt just a couple of laps ago. Now he's off of Earnhardt's pace. Now he has his hands full with Davey Allison.
Alan Kowicki in 4th and Davey Allison in 5th. The 3rd position held by Dale Earnhardt, as there is Alan Kowicki. 2nd is Ricky Rudd, and the leader of this race is Terry Labonte.
Back to the setup situation with Earnhardt, which every once in a while that car just appears on your screen as we watch this battle for third. You heard Ernie Elliott say that they kind of expected, there is Dale on the left-hand side of your screen, interval between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but they expected some bright sunshine today, but it has not turned out that way, and Dover has been blessed all weekend long. There have been heavy thunderstorms that have affected all of the other racing up and down the East Coast, but none of those storms have hit here at Dover. We've had very stable atmospheric conditions all weekend long, and today is just another example of that. It's been overcast. It looks like it'll stay that way until races end.
6th position, Neil Bonnet, car number 75, the Valvoline Pontiac. And Neil Bonnet has not had a great deal of success in the 1987 Winston Cup season. He had some success in the early going, but the latter stages of the season have not been all that kind. We talked to Neil about Dale Earnhardt's great success in 87.
Well, I sat in the boat fishing with Earnhardt several times this year, and we've discussed that through the years, performance of his car, my car, and things that go on in racing. And there's no driver in the world that can take one of these things that doesn't handle or doesn't run down the straightaway and win races. And there's no motorman here that can put just a dummy in a car and win races. It takes a combined effort. And Dale was talking to me about my situation. Look, don't get down in the dumps about falling out of some races. He said 2 years ago he blew up 13 motors and fell out of like 17 races, and they won a championship last year, and he's a dominant factor this year. The longer a team stays together and you get that engine man working with that chassis guy working with the driver relate through the crew, you start winning races in, and that's what starts these questions. Is it the car, is it the driver, or is it the motor? The deal is it's the race team. And when you get a race team on the level that Earnhardt, Richard Childress is, they're going to make you wonder what it is.
Success is a combination of factors in Winston Cup racing. Neil Bonnet, number 75, currently 6th in the Delaware 500. Now we see Ricky Rudd has taken the lead from Terry Labonte. So another lead change here on the 183rd lap. Rudd goes back to the point, and Terry Labonte now 2nd.
Picking up on what Neil was commenting on, Dale Earnhardt, a number of races that they have dropped out of this year. There have been 22, remember. They have dropped out of 0.
And Terry Terry Labonte's dropping back to second may indicate a problem. Dick Berggren?
Oh, it definitely indicates a problem, Bob Jenkins. Just a moment ago, Tim Brewer, the crew chief, climbed off his stool, sat down, put his hands and his head together. The engine has lost a cylinder. Labonte down to 7.
Tough break for Terry, who has been very strong all weekend here at Dover. Currently in second, but with the loss of the cylinder, he probably will not be able to pull off a victory here this weekend. We'll be right back.
Maybe you think the Giants will win it all this season. Or maybe you think the Bears will be tougher than ever. And what about the Broncos or the 49ers? And who will be on top in college football come January? I'm Harry Carson, and no one knows the winners for sure. But here's one sure winner for every football fan. The Sporting News. Everything you need to know. Results, schedules, roster moves, and more every week.
Detailed reports on all the teams, hard-hitting inside information, more facts and stats than all the others combined, plus up-to-the-minute news of baseball, basketball, and hockey.
Now, here's news of a great half-price offer.
Take a tip from Harry Carson and get in on this great half-price offer. Just call 1-800-572-2300 and receive 40 issues of the Sporting News for 4 easy payments of only $5.45. That's a savings of 1/2 off the regular subscription rate. So call now, 1-800-572-2300. That's 1-800-572-2300.
If all you're going to do is sit with your feet in cold water, most any waterproof boot will do. But if you're going to use your feet, you'll be happier in Red Wings. Because Red Wings are more than waterproof. They're comfortable.
Now Ricky Rudd begins to pull away from Terry Labonte, who has dropped a cylinder in that car. So Rudd at the moment having this race all his way. And we're nearing the 200 lap mark. We've completed 189. This time around, Rudd will complete lap number 190. Among those out of the race, Cale Yarborough in car number 29. Kyle Petty was in just a moment ago again as problems continue to plague that number 21 machine.
Still a significant way to go as we go back to look at the contest for 4th position between Davey Allison in number 28 car and Neil Bonnet in number 75. Bonnet having a pretty good race here today at Dover. We mentioned about at lap 200 we are ahead of the pace of the number of cautions we normally have. There have been 3 already. The average is about 5.5. We're not even halfway there yet, home that is. And the average number of lead changes at Dover since this racetrack was conceived in 1969 has been 17. Already, we've had 9 lead changes among 6 drivers. So quite a ways to go yet. And all the teams are needing right now to find the best pace. The pace that will get them to lap number 400 and still in lead lap. And then in those final 100 laps or 100 miles, turn loose all the horses that remain and go for the win.
The race record for this event held by Richard Petty, and it was set way back in October of 1971. It's been a long time. Record still stands. Richard Petty averaged 123.254 miles an hour in that 500-mile race. Now there is Dale Earnhardt in car number 3. He is currently in 3rd position, and there's the interval between 3rd and 4th, Davey Allison and Neil Bonnet. Again, among those out of the race, Cale Yarborough also out. The number 51 car of David Simcoe. The number 80 car of Jimmy Horton has retired in the competition. Also, Bobby Hillen Jr., of course, involved in an incident down in turn number 1 along with Dale Jarrett. And the number 26 car of Morgan Shepherd is out. And so is the 98 machine of Mark Gibson.
For all the attention that Davey Allison has received in 1987, it has been since May that he won. He won at Talladega on the 3rd of May and a number of times here at Dover on the 31st of May, an ESPN televised race. So it's been about 10 races since Davey Allison has been able to win, but we certainly anticipate him to be right in it for the victory right up until that 499 here today.
Sterling Marlin, along with Alan Kulwicki and and Bill Elliott right out there together on the racetrack. They are still certainly very much in this race. All three cars are on the lead lap. Kowicki at the moment is 6th. Sterling Marlin is 7th, and Bill Elliott is 8th. All these drivers just behind Neil Bonnet, who's 5th.
The last race in Richmond, Bill Elliott went over a particular winning mark for the 3rd year in a row. Over $1 million in winnings, 3 years running now. 85, that great season he had. He won the Winston Million, winning $2,383,000 last year. He just tipped the scales a little bit over $1 million, and already this year he has peaked over $1 million. What a landmark. The most incredible performance in the history of motor racing in terms of collecting winnings. He has won almost $4.5 million in just 2.5 seasons.
Elliott, of course, second in the point standings going into this event. 608 behind Dale Earnhardt, who threatens to wrap up the Winston Cup title long before the last race in Atlanta, a race, by the way, that we will televise here on ESPN in November.
It certainly has become just a matter of mathematics, and in some respects it takes the pressure off the people who are close and might think they have a chance at winning. As we mentioned, there are a number of drivers and teams that are trying to perform well here and show car owners and show sponsors that they are worthy of staying in the fold for 1987. I'd say one of the people that's had the best success of doing that today has been the Sterling Marlin car. There's Neil Bonnet now being challenged by Davey Allison.
He has gotten by Davey Allison and moves into 4th position. Neil Bonnet with a very strong run as Davey Allison drops back to 5th. Davey has not been all that competitive since the first 10-12 laps of this event. He is back to 5th at the moment.
As we look at two people who are stabilized in their environments for the 1988 season, we might comment about some of the cars that are involved and whenever driver changes take place. It all revolves around 5 cars. We'll give you a little more detail later, but it's the 25 car, of course, in the Rick Hendrick stable. The Kenny Bernstein ride, which we mentioned earlier in this broadcast, will go to Ricky Rudd, Bud Moore, Junie Dunloving, and Haas Ellington. Those are the 5 cars. Lots of talk about people going here, coming there, new teams, but those are the 5 cars among the regulars of the Winston Cup Trail that will be involved in changes, significant changes for next year.
We're past the 200 lap mark, 201 now completed out of 500 that will make up the Delaware 500. Well, you may think that those decals that are on each of these Winston Cup cars are placed at random. Such is not the case. Here's a quick fact. Quick Facts are brought to you by New Quaker State with QSX. Keeps your engine cleaner to last longer.
Take a good look. What you're seeing right now is a clean race car. Not a single decal anywhere on the body. In a few minutes, there'll be 37 decals on each fender. Why? Because NASCAR has 37 different contingency sponsors paying over $1.8 million for these people to wear their decals throughout the year. Well, where do you put them? Let me show you. NASCAR has a map here that shows exactly where each decal must be placed on the fender. Every time a new car comes to the track, you're given a packet. This packet has 37 decals for each front fender. For example, this STP decal must go right here, just behind the wheel well. The Goodyear decal goes across the top. Well, everyone has its own place. In a few minutes, this car will be covered with decals and ready to race.
That, of course, the Dale Jarrett car used in that demonstration, but there is a car with full decals, the number 3 Wrangler Jeans Chevrolet, driven by Dale Earnhardt, who is currently in 3rd. The leader, Ricky Rudd, and we'll be back right after these messages.
You are about to see the smartest oil change you can make. Introducing a new Quaker State motor oil. Now Quaker State has a revolutionary formula called QSX. QSX fights engine choking sludge better than other leading oils to keep oil flowing to vital engine parts. For a cleaner, longer-lasting engine, change your oil. Really change your oil to new Quaker State with QSX, the smartest oil change you can make.
The first step begins with Buster Brown shoes at John Elliott Family Shoe Store in the Groton Shopping Plaza. From small sizes that are so important to tough, active wear for back to school, Buster Brown provides the newest styles. Your entire family can find sizes from slim to Triple E at John Elliott Shoes. We don't ask for a size, ask to be fitted. From Care Bears and Wildcats to the entire line of Buster Brown shoes, go to the experts, John Elliott Family Shoes in the Groton Shopping Plaza.
Coming from the government, the free consumer information catalog from Pueblo, Colorado. It knows about your money, health, federal benefits. It could be coming to you.
It's here! The free consumer information catalog we sent for, plus the free sample booklets.
Send your name and address to Catalog Plus, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009.
Hurry.
Get the biggest stories from the fastest tracks with Bob Jenkins and Larry Newber host ESPN Speedway. Thursday nights at 7:30 Eastern, only on ESPN.
Ricky Rudd continues to lead the Delaware 500. He has just put a lap on the 10th place car of Jeff Bodine. So 9 cars are on the lead lap at the moment. There is Jeff Bodine now. Alan Kulwicki was in the top 10. However, he has made an unscheduled pit stop and has lost a lap.
Really too bad, Bob, because he was a real threat to win this race. He's been running very strong, but he appears to be able to go only about 50 laps on each load of fuel. He has to come in almost every 50 laps right on the noggin. Jerry Punch, what do you think? Fuel pickup problem?
That's exactly what it is, Larry. They pitted on lap 150, had to come back in on lap 205, a lap or so ago. He did not lose a lap in the pits. He just came in and took fuel only, didn't have time to change tires or he would have lost a lap, but fuel pickup problems. They can only go 53 or 55 laps on a green flag stop.
So, Jerry, what they have to hope for is nicely placed yellows, because he's obviously fast enough to stay on the lead lap, but they need those yellows to get more fuel.
They're going to have those yellow flags, or they're going to continue to get cranked the lap down every time they come in. You know, most of the cars here can run 85, 87, maybe even 90 laps under green flag conditions. He can only go half that far, so it's a long afternoon, and if he loses a lap every time he comes in, he'll end up 5 or 6 laps down by the time the day is over.
With Alan Kulwicki also a lap down to the field, there are now only 8 on the lead lap. They are Bobby Allison, who is 8. Bill Elliott is 7th, Sterling Martin is 6th, Davey Allison 5th, Neil Bonnet 4th, then Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, and the leader Ricky Rudd. And here is the battle for second position, as Earnhardt has now drawn alongside Terry Labonte and goes for second spot into turn 3.
They are disputing it, aren't they? These guys have been together a lot today, Earnhardt and Labonte. They've been doing some really good racing and trying to mark on either one of those cars, at least we can see from this distance that we are, but very stout racing all the way around this 1 mile oval today. It's been good, clean fun, I'll tell you.
Well, Dick Bergeron is standing by down in the pit area watching our leader, Ricky Rudd.
Yeah, everything is working just fine here, and to underscore Kulwicki's problem, when Kulwicki was in the pit, Bud Moore told me that they had a full 30 laps more to go before they would have to stop. Kulwicki is certainly running at a major disadvantage. In the meantime, Rudd is running absolutely perfect. They're delighted with that car.
Ricky Rudd is doing a fine job leading the Delaware 500 over Dale Earnhardt and Terry Labonte. We'll be back with more of our live coverage in just a moment.
All good horse traders know horses. The best ones know cowboys, too.
He needs a little work, but the price is fair. He's worth it, but I'm a little short. Just pay me half now, and if I don't hear from you, he knows his way home.
Push. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream.
Head for the mountains of Busch Beer.
Break out of your old routine.
Wash and go for Busch. Got too much you're busy doing. Fuss around with your shampoo. So you got a shampoo that conditions too. Wash and go for Busch.
Pert
Plus. It's shampoo plus complete conditioner all in one. For great hair, no fuss.
One shampoo, condition two. Wash and go for Plus.
Ricky Rudd, who announced earlier this weekend that he will be joining the Kenny Bernstein team for 1988, is leading the Delaware 500 in the Bud Moore number 15 Motorcraft Ford. And again, there are 8 cars that are on the lead lap. Ricky Rudd has won 7 Winston Cup races in his career, going for number 8 this afternoon. We have a crash in turn number 2. Michael Waltrip has made contact with the wall in almost the same area of the racetrack that he had a problem yesterday during the late afternoon practice after qualifying.
Michael Waltrip, another one of the younger drivers running in Winston Cup racing. He has a flat left rear. Looks like he made no contact with the wall, as a matter of fact, and maybe it's simply a matter of a blown tire, and perhaps Michael saved it. Commenting that he is one of the younger drivers in Winston Cup racing, and a lot of people are talking about what's going to happen with the future of this young man, the immediate future. Next 2 or 3 years, you might see him moving on, perhaps to a more established team, although there's a great deal of optimism in this camp. They have put together a very attractive financial package. They're getting well organized, the all-pro people are, and watch for this car to be moving up in the Winston Cup standings over the next couple of seasons.
Well, the car doesn't want to go very fast down the backstretch. You can see the left rear flat on it. The pit stops, meanwhile, are being made, and here is Ricky Rudd, Dick Berggren.
Yeah, they were all ready for this. There's no hurry, no commotion here. Earnhardt is also in. If you look carefully, if you have a good imagination, you might see a help wanted sign over Rudd's door. They don't have a driver for this car next year. A little rough working conditions on a hot day, but you do get about 50% of the prize money, which isn't too bad. Rudd's moving out of the pits right now. Earnhardt's still in. Rudd is going to beat everybody out. Earnhardt's still on the jack, and there goes Rudd, long gone.
There goes Dale Earnhardt out. And Terry Labonte also out of the pit area, as is Davey Allison. Meanwhile, Bill Elliott remains in as they change the tires on the left side of that car. Bobby Allison, meanwhile, has chosen not to come in for a pit stop at the moment. He's the current leader. And we take a look at the crash that's caused our 4th caution period of the day.
Come from the upper right-hand side of your screen. There is Michael in the groove. The car simply going away. It's that tire, a right rear tire going down, and Michael hard on the brakes. He steers around and just barely brushes the wall with the left rear, although I must say it appeared as though the tire blew as he was in the middle of the spin, but it was most unlikely that he would have just lost it in that condition.
And there is Bobby Allison, who finally decides to make the pit stop. So he relinquishes 1 lap lead, and we will sort all of this out after we take another break. We're at the Delaware 500 in Dover for Winston Cup Racing.
In communities across America, there's a working spirit. People working together with a feeling of pride. That feeling exists. There's Dickies Work Clothes. America, it still works. Dickies, the brand it works in. Dickies, made with Celanese Fortrell polyester.
It takes quick hands, quick skates, and quick thinking to play one of the fastest games on 2 feet. The excitement is fast and furious when the NHL plays. Live on ESPN.
The green is just about to come out for a restart of this 500-lap race. We're at lap 223, nearing the halfway point. As you can see, the crowd has taken this opportunity to rise to its feet and stretch their muscles a little bit as Ricky Rudd leads them off of corner number 4, takes the green flag from Harold Kinder, and we go back to competition. 8 cars on the lead left, and it appears as if there are really 4 or 5 cars that are consistent, maybe even 6 that are consistent here this afternoon. Despite all of the pit stops and the racing on the track, it has been Rudd, Labonte, Earnhardt, Neil Bonnet, Davey Allison, and Sterling Marlin that have been up there just about all afternoon.
Bodine is the second car in line on the track right now. He is 1 lap and 1 position down. The leader, Ricky Rudd, is 1 lap down. So Bodine would very much like to catch Ricky Rudd if he could, but nobody is able to catch him. No one is able to pass Ricky Rudd all day long. But Bodine is going to give it all he is worth.
As we take a look at the pit stop summary, we'll show you what we mean by consistency during the afternoon. Rudd in first, out first. Earnhardt stayed the same. So did Terry Labonte. Neil Bonnet lost 1 position. Davey Allison gained a position. And Bobby Allison also came in 8th and went out in 8th position.
Pretty much like looking at a mirror, isn't it? Earnhardt has gotten around Jeff Bodine, and Jeff Bodine just doesn't have the horses to run with the lead pack here today.
There's Rick Wilson in the Kodak car. There's the in-car camera as he is 4th on the racetrack, but is a lap down to the field. Davey Allison is inching up beside him on the outside of the racetrack and passing in turn number 3.
I still feel as though, Bob, that man right there in the black, white, red, orange, and gold trim Abilene number 28, Davey Allison, is going to be the main force to be reckoned with in the final 100 laps. I felt that at the beginning of the race, even though he qualified second fastest to Alan Kulwicki, but the consistency that they've had on tracks like this year really will help him.
No, this is not the start of the race. This is racing in the pack behind Terry Labonte and Rick Wilson. Neil Bonnet, Sterling Marlin, Richard Petty. Let's see who else is involved. Ken Schrader, Bill Elliott, Bobby Allison, Alan Kulwicki, Buddy Baker, Benny Parsons, Rusty Wallace, Harry Gann, and others.
One group racetrack.
Eddie and Bill Elliott side by side, as are Ken Schrader and Bobby Allison in the 3rd and 4th turns. It's amazing how close these guys can run at speeds that high and never touch.
The speeds on the straightaways will reach about 150 miles per hour just before they slam down into the 24-degree banking. They may drop down to about 120 just momentarily as we see that Sterling Marlin has gone around Neil Bonnet. But you're immediately back on the throttle and up to 150 as soon as you can possibly get there, averaging between 135 and 140 for 1 mile around. Just imagine going down a 1/5 of a mile straightaway and then banking into a turn like a jet fighter and spinning around 180 degrees and doing that at about 130, 140 miles an hour, going down a 1/5 of a mile again, shorter than the distance down to the end of the block and doing the whole thing all the way over again. 180-degree corner.
There's Bobby Allison at number 22. He's running in 8th position with Alan Kulwicki out there on the racetrack. A lot of good, tight racing. There's Ken Schrader also on the high side of the racetrack there in turn number 2. And Buddy Baker is with Ken Schrader.
Well, what a frustrating day for Kulwicki. He definitely had a shot. Now he's having a hard time even running up with the leaders, but he needs to move all the way up there past Elliott, past Neil Bonnet. Elliott's beginning to show a little bit of strength here at the lap 230 mark. Bill Elliott moving underneath Neil Bonnet. That's a type of maneuver that has taken many other drivers 4 or 5 laps to execute.
Richard Petty is scraping against the wall in turn number 2. He got way high on the racetrack. He, of course, likes to run up there, but that time he got a little bit too high, scraped the wall for several feet, regained control of the car, and has now dropped low on the racetrack. Is he going to come in for a stop? No, not this time.
The clean right side, he must have just barely nicked it. Got up there in the marbles, as the racers call it, and when you're up there, you're very busy for a few seconds trying to hang on for all you're worth.
So Richard Petty, who is not running in the top 10, experiences a little bit of a problem up in turn number 2, but stays in competition. was trying to catch up with the rest of the folks that he was running with before that problem developed, including Harry Gant and Dave Marcus, Benny Parsons, and Darrell Waltrip. Passing the number 12 car once again, being driven by Larry Caudle, the Charlotte Daytona Dash driver of many races.
In the almost 20-year history of the Dover Downs Raceway, Richard Petty has won 7 times, as has Bobby Allison. Right now, Ricky Rudd is the one who seems to be in the best seat to win this race here today. Richard has also finished in the top 10 25 times in those 20-plus years here at Dover, as has Bobby Allison. So this has been a good racetrack for those two gentlemen, the Dover 1-mile Speedway. And Dover has really changed the face of stock car racing here in the Northeast. As we look at Dale Earnhardt again, just had one sight on Davey Allison. It's had a big impact. Frankly, when it started here about 20 years ago, I wasn't sure exactly how strong stock car racing could be around here. We're in the heart of modified racing country, dirt racing country. But the stock cars have gone over very big here, as they have everywhere else in the country. This has become a nationwide focal point of motor racing, Winston Cup Grand National Stock Car Racing, and the fans flock to Dover in thousands, just like they do to Riverside out in California, and of course to the super speedways of the Deep South.
So they're the first 3, Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt, and Davey Allison, as we're 239 laps into this 500-lapper, so we're very, very close to the halfway point. We'll be back right after these messages with more.
It's the real action, the pro action, NFL action with the VCR quarterback game, NBA action with the VCR basketball game, NHL hockey action with the VCR hockey game. Hundreds of plays, hours of action. The VCR board game's officially licensed by the leagues themselves. Pick your sport, play with the pros. It's a new ball game every time you play. Your favorite sport is always in season at your VCR Sports Center. Is at a store near you.
The upset of the week is brought to you by Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need. The New York Giants launched their '87 campaign at Soldier Field in Chicago as world champions, and an early block punt recovered for a touchdown put Parcells' Pack up by 7. The euphoria quickly faded when their special teams performance sputtered. The Bears turned an expected close game into a rout. Dennis McKinnon's 94-yard punt return TD led Chicago to a rout. The Pepto-Bismol upset of the week.
Soon this street will be teeming with people, tasting exotic foods from all over the world.
Thank you. Is it good?
Good and spicy.
Now Anne is about to experience a problem that's universal.
Harp, I've got heartburn. Can you beat that?
As a matter of fact, I can.
Pepto for heartburn?
Sure.
As Pepto coats, it soothes heartburn, as well as upset stomach and diarrhea.
I didn't know you could calling us.
I can.
Pepto-Bismol, the one that coats, is the only one you need.
Your nearby CarQuest Auto Parts store isn't owned by some big corporation. It's owned by one of your neighbors who really cares about you. As trained, CarQuest qualified counter pros, we're here to make sure you get the right part at the right price. Even the right advice. There's over 2,000 stores like this one across the country with a whole world of parts backed up by the CarQuest coast-to-coast guarantee. CarQuest, America's auto parts giant, because real value and friendly professional help make CarQuest the right place to buy auto parts.
Bill Elliott in the number 9 Coors Melling Ford is by no means out of this race. He has passed Terry Labonte, and Elliott goes to 5th. Labonte back to 6th position. A good run for Bill Elliott, and Ford moving very well on the racetrack. The lead continues to be held by Ricky Rudd, with Earnhardt 2nd, Davey Allison 3rd, Sterling Marlin 4th, then Bill Elliott and Terry Labonte. After that, it's Neil Bonnet and Bobby Allison. Those cars on the lead lap. A lap down in 9th position is Jeff Bodine, and in 10th is Alan Kulwicki.
Buddy Baker apparently also is close into that group as far as those 1 lap down. There is a look at Bill Elliott. He is the biggest winner of poles for 1987. He's won at Daytona, North Wilkes, at Talladega, Charlotte, Dover here in the spring, and the 2nd race also at Talladega.
Terry Labonte is hanging right in there in 6th position, despite the fact that the report earlier was a drop cylinder. Let's go to the pits for an update.
Well, Bob, it's absolutely remarkable that Terry Labonte is running this well, and with his crew chief, Tim Brewer. Tim, how can your guy run that strong on only 7 cylinders?
Well, you know, right now the guy's just driving his heart out, doing what he can do halfway. Then all you can hope for is rain. It's the only way out for us right now.
There's nothing you can do to fix this issue.
Now, what we think happened to things is broken intake pusher on it. And there's nothing we can do except go inside the motor and fix it. But we can't do it here.
So that's the story on Terry Labonte. See his finishes in the last 3 races. Very respectable 4th, 5th, and 8th.
Labonte and Foles talking about Elliott having won 6. Labonte is second on the hit parade for most poles. He has won 4 times. He is tied with Davey Allison. Of course, Labonte has no wins. Alan Kowicki is now 4th among all drivers in Winston Cup racing with poles. He has won 3. As we go back up front and look at leader Ricky Rudd, the drivers who have won 1 pole in 1987 are Earnhardt, Schrader, Kenny Schrader, Harry Gant, Morgan Shepherd, Rusty Wallace, and Tim Richmond.
Next time around, we will complete 250 miles, 250 laps, and we'll be at the halfway point of this 500-mile race at Dover. Terry Labonte continues to run in that 6th position, and there is the leader, Ricky Rudd. He has already completed the halfway point, and here's our Napa mid-race recap. Ricky Rudd, the leader at the halfway point, having led 154 of the 250 laps. His margin over Dale Earnhardt, 1 second. We have 8 cars on the lead lap. We have had 7 leaders and 12 lead changes. Only 4 caution periods during the first half of this event for a total of 20 laps. So it's been a very safe and clean race to this point. Those out of the race include Bobby Hillin Jr., Dale Jarrett, Morgan Shepherd, Cale Yarborough, and Eddie Bierschwell in car number 80. Also Mark Gibson in 98 and Dave Simcoe in number 51. So Ricky Rudd, the defending champion of this event, appears to be on his way to another victory here at Dover, but we've still got a long way to go, and we hope you'll stay with us throughout the afternoon for more of the Delaware 500.
Ford dealers would like to thank you for helping them sell more cars and trucks than anyone in New England by giving you some great year-end deals. Yeah, I know, with all the vehicles sold, what's left? Ones with turquoise paint and plaid interiors? No. Great deals on the award-winning Taurus, the F-150 pickup, and the sporty Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. Of course, if you prefer a little baby with plaid interior,
It takes more than good mechanical knowledge when it comes to transmissions. It takes the transmission professionals at Lee Miles Transmissions. We'll diagnose your problem, make all repairs quickly at the lowest cost possible.
Right now, take advantage of Lee Miles Transmissions Trouble Fighter Special. Get new fluid and pan gasket, all adjustments, and road test for only $12.95.
Lee Miles Stop and Go Transmissions, Pequannock Road, Groton, and Montauk Avenue, New London. Take it to the professionals.
We hope you're enjoying the Delaware 500. We hope you're enjoying the Delaware 500 from Dover Downs International Speedway. It's being brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by Dickies, they're America's favorite work clothes. But who says you have to work in them? As you can see, the skies are still very cloudy over Dover Downs. However, the report is that the cloud layer is very thin, and therefore any rain is not likely, at least in the next couple of hours. We're past the halfway point, and Ricky Rudd continues to be the leader. Earnhardt is second, then Davey Allison, Sterling Marlin, and Bill Elliott.
I tell you, Bob, it's absolutely divine intervention. It can be nothing else that it has not rained on Dover, Delaware this weekend. There were horrendous thunderstorms a couple nights ago in the airport not too far from here. And as we mentioned earlier in this broadcast, it has rained everywhere north of the Mason-Dixon line and seemingly east of the Mississippi River this weekend, but not on Dover, Delaware.
The next time we'll see you following this Winston Cup race, there is Darrell Waltrip coming in for a stop. as he may be experiencing some problems, or perhaps this is the first of the next series of pit stops for everybody. They're changing right side tires and fueling the car up. And they complete the work on the right front and on the right rear, and now Darrell moves back out into competition. The next time we talk to you after this Winston Cup race here today will be the Holly Farms 400. That will be in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, Sunday, October the 4th. Our live coverage begins at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. North Wilkesboro and the Holly Farms 400 here on ESPN.
And in case you missed the beginning stages of this broadcast, you just saw Darrell Waltrip pit. He and wife Stevie had the baby this week. Jessica Lee, mother and baby doing quite fine, and daddy out here running at Dover, Delaware with the sign, "It's a girl."
And our best to Stevie and new arrival as we understand, are watching from their hospital room today. Well, let's go back and check our field summary now. There is the leader, Ricky Rudd, car number 15.
Ricky has had a very strong race. He is the defending champion of this race here at Dover, the late summer or early fall race. Ricky Rudd, who will be leaving the Bud Moore Motorcraft Ford when this season is over. You can see his Dover record. That's one with a year ago. 7 times, 18 starts. He's finished in the top 5.
Behind him is Dale Earnhardt, number 3, the leader in Winston Cup points going into this event.
His average finishing position has been 4.1 in recent races. He has won the last 3 races on the Winston Cup Trail.
Third on the racetrack and third in the standings is Davey Allison, and he started this race from outside the front row.
2 of those 16 starts have resulted in wins in 1987, and one of the wins was right here at the early summer race.
There's Buddy Arrington from Martinsville, Virginia, in the Panhill Knitting Ford, still in competition.
Buddy, of course, one of the last stalwarts of Chrysler Motor Corporation on the Winston Cup Trail, has shifted to Ford the last couple of seasons.
Rick Wilson has been carrying our Kodak in-car camera, but Rick has been besieged by a couple of problems and is not on the lead lap.
He was the 4th fastest qualifier for today's race and was very strong until having minor problems inside the first 100 laps.
Although it appears that Davey Allison will win Rookie of the Year honors, here's another rookie that has had a very successful opening round, Steve Crispin from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
And he's had one of his better days today, Bob.
And there is Sterling Martin, the Piedmont Oldsmobile, number 44. He's in 4th position at the moment.
They have put together a very stout effort for this weekend in Dover. Perhaps they're peaking at a very good time, the end of the season, when you go to all those sales calls.
The number 64 car being driven today by Canadian Trevor Boys from Calgary, Alberta. This is the Sonny King Ford.
Trevor Boys out-qualified Bobby Hillen Jr., Richard Petty, and Dave Marcus today. Trevor came on strong after having just missed out his last entry qualifying for a Winston Cup race.
The next car on the racetrack, as we pan back and let Trevor Boys go through, is Jeff Bodine in car number 5. Right behind him, Bill Elliott.
Jeff Bodine, the number of top 5 finishes in 1987. Who say? You see that 6 right there in the last 3 races. He's been close, but still he hasn't finished in the top 5. The winner of the 1986 Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott is entrenched in 5th place at the moment.
10 starts, he's won 1 time here at Dover, but he has been one of the people today who has shown us he has the capability of running near the front.
J.D. McDuffie drives car number 70, the Ruffle Furniture Pontiac, and right with him on the track is Michael Waltrip, who crashed yesterday and has spun today.
J.D. and Richard Petty are the only 2 drivers who have entered every one of the races in the history of Grand National and Busch Grand National and Winston Cup racing here at Dover.
You can see the best finish for Michael Waltrip in 1987 has been a 10th at Martinsville.
He was involved in a very serious crash late in the afternoon yesterday, although Cale Yarborough's primary car was the one that suffered the most damage, both Cale, and Michael field the machine for today's event.
Sixth place on the lead lap from Hueytown, Alabama. Neil Bonnet in the number 75 Valvoline Pontiac.
The man who says he's going to do a little more racing. He's going to do the straight line kind. He's going drag racing. He's also fielded a Busch Grand National Sportsman stock car for some races here in the latter part of the 1987 season.
Alan Kulwicki has had his problems today. After putting his Xerox Ford on the pole, Alan has dropped off the pace.
Alan says that Sirloin, this is not Sirloin. You all remember Sirloin, one of the two cars that Alan fielded in 1986, and one of the very few cars he has this year. Well, Sirloin is in the garage getting a sex change, to quote Alan, and moving him from a front steer to a rear steer car.
Terry Labonte in car number 11 is 7th, although the car is only running on 7 cylinders.
He is now third in the point standings with an average finishing position of 11 this year. He is just about 75 points behind second place in the point standings, Bill Elliott. So Labonte has become a factor in the top 2 positions in the season-long point standings.
The Kodiak Pontiac, driven by Rusty Wallace from Fenton, Missouri, is still out there.
And Rusty has climbed to 4th in the season point standings. He's 764 points behind the leader, Dale Earnhardt, and within reach of Elliott and Labonte's second and third.
A lap down unofficially in 11th place is Buddy Baker.
Doug Richard is the crew chief on the Buddy Baker Danny Schiff car. Buddy Baker, of course, the driver. Doug Richard, remember, is the man who gained prominence first of all when he was crew chiefing for Dale Earnhardt when Dale had a tremendous rookie season, and in his sophomore year, Earnhardt became the national champion.
Somewhat a hometown favorite here, making his home in Chemung, New York, is Brett Bodine. He drives the Bullseye Barbecue Sauce Chevy car number 1.
And very likely to land a full season ride for the 1988 season in the Winston Cup Series.
Kyle Petty was very strong at one point, but has been plagued with transmission problems. He's still out there, though. Kyle Petty from Randleman, North Carolina.
The team has had a good year, and they will return in 88 intact. No changes anticipated. And then Kyle Petty, Lennon, Leonard Wood, Sitco, Ford-powered number 11.
Bobby Allison in the Miller American Buick remains on the lead lap. He is 8th.
The only really significant bright spot for Bobby Allison has been the win in one of the major races of the season, the Daytona Firecracker. It was a race in which no one really gave him much of a chance. He was a lap down inside of 15 laps to go, but he made it up and came home a winner.
We'll talk about these guys together because they're right together on the racetrack. Harry Gant drives the green number 33, and Dave Marcus is in the beige number 71.
Harry, it was said, lost his ride, his Winston Cup ride, but then got it back in the same weekend when he turned in an outstanding performance in a Busch Grand National race when he won down at Darlington. He was also very strong here yesterday until the car fizzled out. Well, it actually blew up.
There is Dave Marcus in the Lifebuoy Helen Ray Chevrolet, and here is the next group that we'll pick up on. Richard Petty in the STP Pontiac and the Tide Machine, driven by Darrell Waltrip.
Boy, if ever there have been 2 more classic motor racing drivers running together on a racetrack, it is that picture right there. 2 gaily painted cars, extremely well prepared, and the names Petty and Waltrip, NASCAR Racing. You really can't add anything more to that.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the field summary for the Delaware 500 as we have it. And behind Waltrip and Richard Petty, the leader, Ricky Rudd, and right behind him is Dale Earnhardt. 277 laps completed. There is first and second. Davey Allison continues to run in third.
Because of the leaders lapping cars and moving at such a high pace, we missed a few cars. The numbers who are still out there, we can list for you just after this commercial break, which is coming up from the Dover Downs International Racetrack. The weather's been threatening, but it's been sunshiny almost here at Dover.
Bud Thunder. It's revved up and coming at you.
ESPN's World Tour slogan to win a trip to the Australian Grand Prix is Formula One Finale. Write that slogan on a card with your name and address and mail to World Tour Sweepstakes, P.O. Box 911, Ridgely, Maryland, 21683.
Never has Dale Earnhardt, who is in second position behind Ricky Rudd, finished on the lead lap of a race here at Dover. But then never has Dale Earnhardt had a season like he is having in 1987. He's currently on the lead lap and just a few car lengths behind Ricky Rudd. And he is only 2 victories away from tying Richard Petty's modern era record of 13 wins in a season. Dale has 11 going for number 12 today.
As we watch, appropriately enough, the man of the hour of 1987, Dale Earnhardt, here are the other cars that we did not get a chance to show you because the leaders are going by so quickly. Wayne Strout, who is entering his first Winston Cup race, is still out there. Steve Chrisman having a strong day. Larry Cottle has moved into a Winston Cup car for this weekend. The man has been running the Charlotte Daytona Dash Series and dominating that. Benny Parsons still runs. Rick Knoop is running D.K. Ulrich's car this week. Phil Parsons has returned after that first lap crash. Jimmy Means, Dave Sitko involved in this earlier. Rick Jeffrey, car number 82. Blue Machine, he has worked very hard to make a Winston Cup race. He's made it today, and he's out there running strong. And Mike Potter, who was also involved in an earlier incident, has returned back onto the speedway.
Let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch, who's working the pit area for us this afternoon.
Well, gentlemen, it's silly season for the Winston Cup Tour. That means the time of year when drivers begin to switch around and change teams. And we all know Kenny Schrader is leaving the car number 90 and going to drive for Rick Hendrick. As Earnhardt now makes a move on Ricky Rudd. Well, who's going to drive this car here, the car that Rudd is leaving, the Motorcraft Ford that Bud Moore maintains? Well, the speculation is it may be Brett Bodine. He may get in the car. Well, Morgan Shepherd, who is going to go out on the Bernstein ride, he may get in this car. And Bud Moore says he got a call this week from a driver he can't name, but the guy's an awfully good chauffeur, and right now he's running in the top 5. So anybody's guess as to who will be driving Bud Moore's Motorcraft Ford in '88.
Dale Earnhardt, like a shot out of a cannon, decided he had waited long enough and went by Ricky Rudd to capture the lead of this race. Earnhardt has gone to the front again.
The other cars that will be of interest to find out what pilots land there will be the Dunleavy number 90 car that Kenny Schrader's getting out of, and Haas Ellington's car. Should Brett Bodine go somewhere else where they run a full season, that means that Haas will be looking for a driver, and we've all seen that that car has the ability to run up front, particularly when Sterling Marlin was piloting it. It ran very well on the super speedways.
You know, Larry, you mentioned several laps ago that you think Davey Allison may be just watching from third position, and I have a tendency to agree with you. While Earnhardt is the leader and Rudd is second, it appears
Spin in turn number 3. It looks like Cottle. No, it's the number 64 car of Trevor Boyes.
And another car becomes involved, sliding to the inside of the racetrack. We don't know who that is. Looked like it was the number 22 car of Bobby Allison, perhaps.
And again, it did not look like driver error.
No,
I think there was an engine problem on the 64 car of Trevor. You can see what appears to be an oil slick coming down the banking. Trevor did not get into the outside wall.
So Trevor Boyes brings out our 6th yellow period of today. Make that the 5th caution period. There's Harold Kinder slowing down the field, and we're going to see wholesale pit stops once again here on lap 289.
Well, everybody pitted about lap 220, so it's about 10 laps early, but when you have the opportunity, certainly when you're within 10 or 15 laps of pitting on a 1-mile racetrack, you got to take it. So this will be fun. This is always great to watch pit stops in a Winston Cup race, and even though it's not the same frantic as the green flag lap, here come the troops. The soldiers are going to be bolting the wall, and the war is going to begin.
Rudd leads him down. Earnhardt will fall into second behind Rudd, and let's go to Jerry Punch.
Ricky Rudd, the Motorcraft Ford, back on pit road. He said it's about 10 laps early. Dale Earnhardt likewise in. Dale Earnhardt on the bottom of the screen. Ricky Rudd's Motorcraft Ford on the top. They go to work on the right side of the Ford. Now run to the left side. They had the left side tires going on the car. Earnhardt taking left side tires as well. We'll see who can win the race down pit road. Left side tires on Rudd's car. He's down on the jack. He can't quite get out. Earnhardt's still up. A tire in front of Rudd. Earnhardt is down and out, and it'll be a race down pit road. It looks like Dale Earnhardt will get him. Well, no, Rudd was riding in turn 1.
nice drag race, though, out of the pits, Jerry. Rudd did win it. They've raised the hood on the Terry Labonte car while we're watching Rudd and Earnhardt get back out onto the racetrack and join the field behind the pace car. Track crew, meanwhile, goes to turn number 3 to clean up any oil or debris that was scattered when Trevor Boyes slid to the inside.
You know, the longest that most of the drivers have stretched these pit stops has been around 85 laps. But keep in mind, everybody theoretically can go 100 laps. We've only seen that from Davey Allison so far this day. He's gone 98 laps as the back markers, so to speak, now come into the pits. Although they're not all back markers. There's Bobby Allison, there's Kyle Petty, Michael Waltrip. And then, come to think of it, there really aren't any back markers these days in Winston Cup racing. It seems like everybody has their day in the sun, and every day everybody is competitive at one time or another. There is Davey Allison. We were just talking about him. He has been the only one who has shown the ability to go almost 100 laps for a pit stop. But everybody's been going about 85 or whatever. It'd be interesting to find out if they stop at about lap 400, how many people can truly go 100 laps.
Joey Knuckles leading the orchestra there on Davey Allison's pit stop, and there is the number 64 car of Trevor Boyes being pushed back to the pit area.
In communities across America, there's a working spirit. People working together with a feeling of pride. That feeling exists. There's Dickies Work Clothes. America, it still works. Dickies, the brand it works in. Dickies, made with Celanese Fortrell polyester.
Sometimes you got it today. Emerson's got it right. Fine tune it, fine tune your life. Nobody's gotta tell you. Emerson does it right. Fine tune it, fine tune it, fine tune your life.
Fine tune your life with Emerson.
There are a lot of fans gathered here at Dover today, and most of them, as you can see, are in long sleeves and even jackets as the cool weather has settled over the eastern portion of the country. Well, how do you determine the popularity of a driver? Dick Berggren.
There is an official competition to determine the most popular driver in NASCAR, and it comes complete with ballots and voting and all the rest of it. But we here at ESPN decided to conduct an unofficial most popular driver contest, and in order to do it, we thought we'd take a look at t-shirt sales. There's a mountain of souvenirs. T-shirts and caps picturing hot drivers are most popular. They come in all styles, from the splashy, tacky, to the clever, to the expensive height of Speedway fashion. All these trailer trucks crisscross America in the big business of driver popularity. This I don't understand. You got a Kenny Schrader hat, a Bill Elliott t-shirt, and you're standing here at the t-shirt sales place for Dale Earnhardt. Who's your guy?
Kenny Schrader.
How come?
Because I like him and he's real good.
Well, here's a racing souvenir shop that sells t-shirts from a whole bunch of different drivers. Now, let's find out. Who's your most popular driver? Whose t-shirts do you sell the most of?
It would be Dale Earnhardt, but we can't get him, so it's Bill Elliott.
Bill Elliott's number 1, and Earnhardt's got an exclusive. Who's your most popular driver? Whose caps, whose t-shirts do you sell the most of?
Richard Petty.
Who's the best driver in NASCAR?
Dale Earnhardt is.
Now, wait a minute. Some people say he's a dirty driver.
No.
Bill Elliott, the best driver in NASCAR?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. These guys said Dale Earnhardt's the best driver.
Not Earnhardt.
You sell a lot of these shirts?
Quite a few.
Now, who is it that ran into who at the track today?
That's up to you. I can't say.
Who's the best driver in NASCAR?
Neil Bonnet.
Why do you say that?
He's always just a good guy, that's all.
Wait a minute. This guy behind you says you're wrong.
Hey, there's the boy.
There's a good shirt for you right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Who's the best driver in NASCAR?
Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt.
Wait a minute. Your shirt says Harry Gant. How can you wear a Harry Gant shirt and think Dale Earnhardt's the best driver?
He's next, yeah.
Well, there's lots of Earnhardt fans for sure, but not everybody is sure that Earnhardt's their man.
He's the guy to beat.
Who's your favorite?
Rusty Wallace. No.
This is my favorite shirt, but there are others.
Now here's Dick posing with the various t-shirts on sale here at the track. And upcoming is my favorite one, right there. Dick, you never look better. Oh, and by the way, who did run into you at the track today? Well, we'll leave the decision up to you as who is the most popular driver in Winston Cup competition. Right now, it is Dale Earnhardt who is leading. Under green, we have a crash on the backstretch. One car making contact. Terry Labonte makes contact with the inside wall coming out of turn number 2 down the backstretch. So just as we went green, we go caution once again for the 6th time.
Terry Labonte was in a pack of cars that was trying to emerge from lap traffic as they came out of number 2. And we did not see it develop, but Labonte has made significant wall contact. You can see damage to the front of the car. It looks like he hit it very bluntly, as well as to the rear. So Terry Labonte involved in a serious one here on the backstretch.
The safety crews are climbing over the fence there in the backstretch and going to the Labonte car to check with him to see if he is okay. As you can see, the right front of that race car is badly damaged. Obviously, he made some heavy contact with the wall.
The track here at banked at 24 degrees is about 48 feet wide in the straightaways and 58 feet wide in the turns. As you come off of the 2nd and 4th turn, looking at Terry Labonte's pit as well as Bill Elliott's brother Ernie holding up the sign to show Bill where to stop, it breaks off very sharply, as we mentioned to you. Jerry is down in the pits.
Bill Elliott brings the Coors Ford back down pit road. Now, he made 2 pit stops during that most recent caution flag, one for a tire change, the other one to come in and top off the tank. Now, they really weren't satisfied. They had a meeting here among the crew members, Ernie and Dan Elliott and the crew, about what kind of tires they put on the car. They weren't really satisfied with the stagger on the car, so they locked this caution flag a chance to get back in. Also, the right rear tire completely flat. So they will go around and make a 4-tire change. A break for Bill Elliott. Caution, taking this pit stop here under yellow.
Most everybody else choosing not to come in for another time. But there goes Bill Elliott away from his pits.
Ernie told us earlier that they would be doing a lot of repair work on that car all day long. Actually, it's not repair. It's changing the engineering of the machine all day long. And he has been very true to his word.
There you can see the safety crew and the wrecker has arrived at Terry Labonte's car. He has crashed on the backstretch here at the Delaware 500.
If water leaking through masonry walls is a problem in and around your home, here's a paint that's guaranteed to stop water completely. Dry Lock. Brush it on right from the can to inside and outside walls or wherever masonry and water meet. Dry Lock, the #1 rated waterproofer, absolutely stops water. You might even say that the water-stopping powers of Dry Lock are almost miraculous. Look for Dry Lock products wherever quality paints are sold.
Another beautiful Monday.
Coast, the scent opens your eyes. Coast a ladder, and you realize that coast is the way to make you feel alive. Coast, feel alive.
Sure beats snow.
Feel alive with Coast.
Good times never lasted longer.
Join the thousands who enjoy Stock Car Racing magazine. You get brilliant action color photography, columns and stories by drivers who win, and the men who set up the winning cars. Technical articles that explain in detail the workings of winning suspensions, components, and engines. Stories about the men behind the wheel, the drama, the excitement of stock car racing.
Call 1-800-441-3636 for a year of Stock Car Racing magazine. Less than $15. Have Visa or MasterCard ready. 1-800-441-3636. Stock Car Racing magazine.
Terry Labonte's badly damaged Budweiser Chevrolet is being removed from the racetrack. Terry made contact with the inside wall coming out of turn number 2. When we were here earlier, we brought you some comments about crashes here at Dover, and here's those comments again.
Multi-car crashes at 170 miles per hour can be devastating. You have a split second to make your move.
A lot of times you can actually drive through a wreck better than you can try to avoid it. If you can just keep you cool and not get excited and not do something to make your car get involved, a lot of times you'll go right through and come out the other side.
Well, that's just a rule of thumb for each particular track we race on the great big racetracks, and somebody's spinning. A lot of times you need to go at them. You need to make a split second decision, either go in the area they're in, because very seldom will they stay there.
Successful young drivers learn early. Here, Tim Richmond avoids disaster by calmly steering straight ahead. The opening is there. Richmond is through. Here, the veteran Buddy Baker shows us his style. Cool under pressure, Big Buddy sees what's happening in front. Here's Davey Allison's car spinning. Baker waits for the move and steers straight ahead.
The best thing to do is not look at the end of the car. You got to look as far ahead as you can. A lot of guys drive right into wrecks, and they just drive right in front of them. You know, they don't look around the corner or look as far ahead as they can.
Check Benny Parsons' style in this one. Parsons, like a fullback, looks for the opening. Diving off tackle, Parsons waits for the hole to develop and then threads the needle. Benny comes through it okay.
Don't panic. When you see an accident, don't lock up the brakes or don't jerk the steering wheel. Don't wreck yourself trying to avoid a wreck. Don't spin the car.
Now let's ride with veteran Cale Yarborough. He says it's his style, how not to panic. With nerves of steel, this guy is the ace at avoiding trouble. Cale waits for the accident to unfold. Allison's high and low. Car sliding beneath him. He makes the move and heads straight ahead. Now riding inside at full speed. Get ready to respect Yarborough's reflexes. Full speed, bam, Bobby Allison is sideways, Davey beneath him. Cale, fog in the window, but straight ahead he goes through the accident.
Unfortunately, Terry Labonte was unable to correct things out on the racetrack and has crashed on the backstretch. However, the car has been cleared away, and now we go back to racing as the green flag comes out on lap number 302. We have less than 200 laps to go in this one. Earnhardt is the leader. We have 7 cars that are on the lead lap, including Earnhardt, Ricky Rudd, Sterling Marlin, then Davey Allison, Neil Bonnet, Bobby Allison, and Bill Elliott. Let's go to Dick Berggren and get an update on the condition of Terry Labonte as Earnhardt has a problem coming off the 4th corner. He slows dramatically. The car almost got out from under him, and the entire field is passing by Earnhardt on the inside. Earnhardt is way up in the marbles in the 1st and 2nd corners.
Recall that Dale Earnhardt has not dropped out of a single race in 1987. Recall also this is the 1988 prototype, a brand new car that they have brought out for racing at Dover this weekend.
Well, let's look at again. The incident occurred coming out of corner number 4. All of a sudden, the car just darted high on the racetrack.
Obviously, Dale sensed it immediately that something had gone wrong. He does his level best to get out of the way. He does an excellent job. He knew it immediately. He got up along the wall, probably waving to the drivers behind him. Dale is coasting down the pits here amidst a great uproar from the fans, some cheering and some offering their condolences. That Dale Earnhardt is pulling behind the pit wall. This could be history of 1987, the first time that car has dropped out of a race this season.
Well, you could see a puff of smoke come from the underneath side of that car there in the 4th turn that has spelled the demise, apparently, for Dale Earnhardt. Now, up front is Ricky Rudd, Sterling Marlin, and Davey Allison doing battle for second. Let's go to Dick for an update on Jerry for an update on the condition of Terry Labonte.
Well, we're sitting in the Dale Earnhardt pit just minutes ago when that car went high in turn 1, gentlemen, and Earnhardt just radioed in and told Richard Stewart, well, fellas, the engine's gone. I'm headed for the garage. So a tough break for the Earnhardt Wrangler crew, but they'll call it a day here at Dover.
All right, so that's the situation on the Dale Earnhardt car. And his dropping out of the competition will get you an update on the condition now of Terry Labonte from Dick Berggren.
All right, fine.
Well, fortunately, Terry Labonte has just walked out of the infield care center. He is quite all right. That is more than can be said for his car. He hit the wall so hard that the headrest that helps him keep his head erect in the car is absolutely bent flat. Good thing Junior builds him tough. Labonte's okay.
All right, good news then from Terry Labonte, who took a real shot when he made contact with the inside wall down the backstretch. Good battle for second position here. It is Sterling Marlin in number 44 and Davey Allison in 28 chasing the leader, Ricky Rudd.
Well, Sterling's having a great day. This is one of the strongest days we've seen him run since Bristol earlier this year. Remember, there was an ESPN broadcast when he led some laps in the middle stages of the event. This is pretty close to that. He's had really a lot more downs than ups this year. Davey Allison now moving underneath Sterling Marlin, but Marlin has remained on the lead lap and among the leaders through 300 laps here at Dover.
Davey Allison moves to second position. Marlin is back to third, and now Davey Allison begins to inch his way forward and perhaps close in on the leader, Ricky Rudd. There's Davey, second fastest qualifier. There is the Dale Earnhardt situation. Let's go to Dick.
Well, Earnhardt is working on the car himself right now, along with car owner Richard Childress. Dale, is there any chance you can fix this motor?
I don't think so. I think it broke a crankshaft or something internally. It just, vibrated and I shut it off.
They're trying to rock it back and forth to see if they can somehow or another straighten it out to get him out. These guys just do not give up. Richard Childress working under the hood himself right now.
So it appears that Dale Earnhardt will drop out of his first race in 1987 if they're unable to get that car back in competition. Dale Earnhardt will not win here at Dover. Davey Allison, though, is showing some strength here right behind Ricky Rudd as they come down the straightaway to complete lap number 312.
In regards to the points, mathematically, it is not over yet. Earnhardt is probably going to win the points. They thought it was going to happen in North Wilkesboro as they projected ahead. NASCAR officials. Looks like it will be a little later, but don't worry. He's in no jeopardy in any shape or form.
Ricky Rudd, the leader, won on this racetrack a year ago. Davey Allison, who is in second, won on this racetrack earlier this year. And either one of those is in a position to win. And so, for that matter, is Sterling Marlin, who runs third. Neil Bonnet, fourth. Bobby Allison, fifth. All those drivers are on the lead lap. So, with less than 200 laps to go now, it is Ricky Rudd and Davey Allison going for it at Dover Downs.
Fixing this one. When you turn on your TV, does your TV turn on you?
Oh, no.
Turn to a friend when the others turn on you. CBN.
Just watch us! Gerard Nissan, Route 184 Groton, leads the way with Ford, Chevy, and Dodge vans starting under $14,000. Gerard Nissan guarantees quality, comfort, and performance with the total luxury of wagon wheel custom vans. Time to think leisure, and the time to buy is now, with big savings on a new Ford, Chevy, or Dodge van from Gerard Nissan, Route 184, Groton, Connecticut.
This is where champions begin.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mike Tyson, Terrence Ali, Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Superstars who forge steel nerves and iron punches on Budweiser's Top Rank Boxing. Watch live Friday night fights. Top Rank Boxing puts you in the ring where champions are made on ESPN.
Jenkins, Larry Newber, Jerry Punch, and Dick Berggren with you at Dover Downs International Speedway in the Delaware 500 Winston Cup event. With 318 of the 500 laps completed, it is Ricky Rudd leading Davey Allison, but only by that much.
Ford and a Ford in first and second. Running in third is the Oldsmobile of Sterling Marlin. Last Ford win at Dover, spring race, Davey Allison. Last Oldsmobile win, never. Oldsmobile has never won at Dover. Sterling Marlin's got a shot.
He really does. He's in third position and has been very competitive all afternoon. He was running in second until just a few laps ago when Davey was able to get around, but Sterling is still in third and has about a half a straightaway advantage on Neil Bonnet, who is fourth.
Race a year ago has had a very consistent season from surface, or rather from track configuration to track configuration. We've compiled some statistics, as those of you who follow ESPN broadcast know, dividing the super speedways from the mid-sized tracks, the tracks that are less than 2 miles in length but more than 1 or 1 mile in length, with the short tracks and the road courses. Ricky Rudd has had 2 top 10s in the super speedways, or on the super speedways. He's had 3 and 6 races on mid-sized tracks of this size, and he's 4 for 6 on short tracks for top 10 finishes, and 2 for 2 at road courses. He really has been, in addition to Dale Earnhardt, the most consistent driver from track type to track type of anyone in this league this season.
Is Davey Allison allowing Ricky to lead at this point, or does Allison have the stronger car? Dick, you're down there in the Davey Allison pit. What are they thinking about?
Well, there's a lot of high-tech stuff going on down here in Davey Allison's pit. They've got a pair of computers charting his race. They're keeping an eye on fuel mileage. By the way, it's gallons per lap, not miles per gallon. They're keeping an eye on his tires. They're keeping an eye, in fact, on almost everything going on with this automobile. It's a little bit step forward. One of the things that they're also still a little bit worried about, remember the carburetor booster that fell into this engine the night before. But probably, at this point, I'd say, this thing didn't do any damage. They're breathing a lot easier at Allison's pit right now.
Well, it's certainly not shown to be causing any effect through the first 325 laps of this race. Davey is still right on the pace.
And it's not really time to race. Those who know they are real candidates for the win, they now sense it. So we're at the point of the race. Brock Yates once called it the soft underbelly. You just try to get through these laps, and if you are on the leading winning pace, you attempt to maintain it. It's not the time to go door handle with somebody. At 75 more laps, we're up to lap 400. That is when you start experimenting inside, what move should I make down near the end?
All right, we'll be right back with more of our live coverage of the Delaware 500 after we take this break.
I had to try this to believe it. Denerex tingles. Tells me it's doing more. Selsun Blue, no tingle.
Both Denerex and regular Selsun Blue have dandruff medicine, but Denerex adds an extra anti-itch medicine.
So long, Selsun Blue. Hello, Denerex.
The antifreeze that beats winter. Available now.
We're back at Dover Downs International Speedway, where Ricky Rudd continues to lead Davey Allison by about 8, 9, 10 car lengths. There's no need for you to change your channel for motorsports results, as the Indy cars already have finished their race over at the new Nazareth Raceway. Michael Andretti was the winner of that event. Bobby Rahal finished second. Rick Mears was third. Arie Luyendyk fourth. Kevin Kogan was fifth, and Al Unser Jr. finished in sixth at Nazareth today, the new Pennsylvania International Raceway owned by Roger Penske.
So their points drama continues, but only in a small way. Rahal had a big lead going in, and Michael was his closest adversary in points, with Bobby finishing second there. Really stout position for the rest of this season.
Of course, the the IndyCar season is winding down. Their next event is going to be at Laguna Seca Raceway in California, an event we'll televise live here on ESPN.
Ricky Rudd and Davey Allison, they have completed the last 30 or 40 green flag laps here with seemingly Davey Allison in tow, and Sterling Marlin has been within gunshot range. He's had him in his sights, but he's about a straightaway behind.
And here's a battle for position between Bobby Allison at number 22 and Bill Elliott in number 9. This is the battle for 5th. Allison has 5th at the moment. Elliott in 6th. Good racing here between a Buick and a Ford.
Both of them have had good seasons here at Dover. There's Elliott. Looks like he may have a little bit of an advantage, but remember, Allison can keep the RPMs up coming off that corner. You can see those RPMs pick up down the straightaway. Elliott's got to charge in very hard, maybe outbrake Bobby, but it's tough to outbrake a veteran, but Elliott scoots underneath Bobby Allison.
So Bill Elliott moves into 5th position.
Both of these people had good races in the spring. Bobby led a number of laps. Elliott was in it right down to the wire. Remember, it seemed like he had the edge on Davey Allison, particularly when Davey made a miscue. He went to come into the pits. He came in hot. He had to go all the way around again, but Davey ended up winning easily.
Speaking of results from auto racing events, today around the world, Michael Andretti has won Nazareth, and Alain Prost was victorious in the Formula One race in Portugal, which was televised here on ESPN earlier in the day. Gerhard Berger was 2nd, followed by Nelson Piquet. Teo Fabi was 4th, Stefan Johansson 5th, and Eddie Cheever, the American driver in Formula One, was 6th. Point standings show you that Piquet continues to hold on to a rather significant advantage over Senna, Mansell, Prost, and Johansson.
Yeah, and Piquet's had a great season in Formula One racing as Alain Prost continues to get closer and closer to breaking the all-time record of wins for Jackie Stewart.
We have 335 laps completed. Still Rudd and Davey Allison in 1st and 2nd. We have had 17 lead changes so far among 7 drivers. We have had 6 caution flags for 32 laps.
Mrs. Davey Allison, obviously she feels as though that at this point in the race things are as well in hand as they possibly could be, as she patiently sits and waits for these mid-stage laps to go by, because things begin to get very exciting in about 15-20 minutes here.
40 cars started this race. There are still 27 in competition out there. Back with more in just a moment.
When the sun's real hot, a day of hard work seems to last a week.
What's the matter with you boys? It's only 102.
Whoosh. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream.
Head for the mountains of Busch beer.
I feel good.
Time to go, boys. You've been in there long enough.
Hey, we're not even tired. I feel good.
So I've checked the mileage, Andy.
Hey, we're the order lights. We're guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
I feel good. Yeah, 2 years no matter how far we go.
But no spark plug guarantees that.
We do. Yeah, we're the auto lights. So go pull the plug on somebody else.
Continue to run in the same order. Ricky Rudd and Davey Allison. We've been bringing you results of various events throughout the world. Michael Andretti winning the IndyCars and Alain Prost the Formula One race. We might mention also that a competition held only about, an hour away from here to the east of us last night in Atlantic City, Michigan. Well, I'm missing there.
Pretty racy stuff too, eh?
Yeah.
Ricky Rudd continues to lead here among the performances on the mid-sized tracks of this season. Certainly Dale Earnhardt obviously has been the best. Surprisingly, Darrell Waltrip is the only other driver who has been running in the top 10 at the end of all 6 of the races. Several have been running at the end of the race in the top 10. They have 5 of them have done that, but Waltrip is the only one who's been in all 6 races doing that. Labonte has 5 top 10s, as well as Neil Bonnet. Rusty Wallace is 4 finishes in the top 10, but Darrell has had a pretty good season considering how down this one has been for him on the tracks of this size.
Well, the pace that Ricky Rudd and Davey Allison are setting is nowhere near a record. The average speed is 113.862 miles an hour. Richard Petty's record set again in October of 71, 123.2, so we're almost 10 miles an hour under the track record. Yesterday here at Dover, Rick Mast won his first ever Busch Grand National race. That was a very exciting contest that can be seen later here on ESPN.
And he won in a convincing fashion, too, Bobby. He ended up with a very nice lead with about 100 laps to go, but we felt there were a couple of other competitors on the track who were running quicker, but they never caught him. And Rick Mast didn't win exactly going away, but it was a very strong victory.
Now we're beginning to see a battle shape up here for third. Sterling Marlin is seeing Neil Bonnet's number 75 Valvoline Pontiac sneak up in his rearview mirror, and before long we could have a challenge for that third by Neil.
Boy, 2 teams that are placed in very awkward positions in contemporary Winston Cup racing. Certainly in almost any other season, both of these teams would have had at least 1 win. But the competition has become so keen, there are so many strong cars, that first of all eliminates many people who normally would win, and then Earnhardt, the second biggest factor, has won so many times he has taken away wins that might have gone to other people. And these were 2 of the cars, or have been 2 of the cars, that have been left out in the cold in the victory parade so far in 1987. That's a real tough position to be in. Here they are running in 3rd and 4th positions. Very, very difficult to do that well in a Winston Cup race. Both of the drivers have shown these capabilities. Certainly in Neil's case, he's had some really big winning seasons. Sterling Marlin has shown the potential. Both the drivers, the ability to get the victory lane, but timing just hasn't been on their side.
Remember at the start of the season, Neil Bonnet got off to a relatively good start. He had several top 10 finishes there in a row, but things began to drop off for him, and now he goes to the inside of Sterling Marlin in the second corner. They'll go wheel to wheel down the backstretch, and side by side, Marlin a half a car length advantage. They go into 3 side by side, and Neil Bonnet now begins to pull ahead just a little bit of Sterling coming out of the 4th corner. A little bit of wobble there from the Neil Bonnet machine, but Sterling holds him off. They'll have to go to the high side of the racetrack now to pass the slower car of Alan Kulwicki. Neil Bonnet was, I believe, 3rd in Winston Cup points in the early part of the season, but has fallen away from that.
Both of these drivers have really improved today. Bonnet was the 19th qualifier in that Valvoline Pontiac, and Sterling Marlin, the Tennessee driver, was 11th fastest in his Piedmont Old. Remember telling you earlier that Oldsmobile has never won here? It does not look like either one of these drivers has enough energy to keep up with the flying boards of Rudd and Davey Allison. But should there be a yellow later in the race and the right tire combination come together for one of these 2 people, they're there.
Neil Bonnet, by the way, is 7th in Winston Cup points at the moment, some 864 behind the leader, Dale Earnhardt.
Going around Roger Hanby's number 12, told you that Larry Cottle is the driver behind that wheel today, and Cottle's had a tremendous season in the Charlotte Daytona Dash. We go back up front, looking at 1st and 2nd, still umbilically tied. Larry Cottle has had a great season in the Darlington Dash cars, and it's very welcome to see him getting a shot here in the big leagues.
115 laps to go, and these 2 appear to be just out there for a Sunday afternoon drive at speeds of about 135 miles an hour. Ricky Rudd and Davey Allison, 1st and 2nd in the Delaware 500. We'll resume our live coverage of this race from Dover Down Speedway after this.
Say goodbye to the dog days of summer. Winter's right around the corner with those biting winter energy costs. So get a jump on a more energy-efficient home. Hightail it to your CertainTeed dealer and load up with CertainTeed fiberglass insulation. And get $1 back for every bundle you buy, up to $30. Have a comfortable home this winter with CertainTeed. You'll help take the bite out of winter energy costs and get some bucks back in the deal.
You'd no more settle for a flake in your hair than a spot on your tie.
You passed the test. Your good grooming has a look of success. Your head and shoulders above the rest.
One flake can mean dandruff. Regular shampoos may rinse flakes, but Head & Shoulders protection goes to the source to help stop flakes.
And that's doing it right. Your head and shoulders above the rest.
You are about to see the smartest oil change you can make. Introducing a new Quaker State motor oil. Now Quaker State has a revolutionary formula called QSX. QSX fights engine choking sludge better than other leading oils to keep oil flowing to vital engine parts. For a cleaner, longer-lasting engine, change your oil. Really change your oil to new Quaker State with QSX, the smartest oil change you can make.
At Dover Down Speedway, it is Ricky Rudd and Davey Allison running first and second, and Rudd has led the majority of laps. We might mention again that Dale Earnhardt is out of the race. Apparently a drivetrain problem has put him in the garage area and may mean that he does not finish the first race of 1987. Now there's the great battle going on for third. Neil Bonnet in 75 and Sterling Marlin in number 44. Sterling has held on to that third position for the last few laps, but Neil is knocking on the door. Let's go to Jerry Punch.
Well, indeed he is, fellas. You know, I just talked to Butch Mock and Bobber Hilvey, the co-owners of that Ray Mock Enterprises effort. They said their game plan today was this. They wanted to be in the top 5 with 100 laps to go. And they have been able to work all afternoon up from their dismal starting spot now to be run fourth. They feel like they're ready to go. This is the same car that Neil ran third at Rockingham. He finished 6th at Darlington. Good runs at Pocono, but he nearly destroyed this car at Charlotte, running the Winston and the World 600. So they rebuilt the car, brought it back here to Dover, and he's ready to win another one in the Ray Mock car.
Well, they are right on their game plan because we have 142 more laps to go, and Neil indeed is within the top 5. As a matter of fact, he is in 4th.
Neil Bonnet, whose best finish in 1987 has been a third. He's done that 3 times. He has won 16 times on the Winston Cup Trail, and the last time was in October of 1986 at Rockingham, a track not too unlike this one.
You got to figure that Rudd and Allison are just kind of biding their time. They're not really in any hurry to make a race out of this because we do have several laps to go. And for the moment, Davey is just interested in sitting back there and making a race out of this with maybe 50, 60 laps to go.
Yeah, Bob, and you also cannot be assured that it is that Rudd is showing everything he has too. I mean, Ricky has become a veteran driver on this trail, and Ricky is smart enough to know that if he goes 10-10 right now or punishes the car or shows everything he has in terms of strength, that's not strategically a good move. So it's unlikely that Ricky Rudd is giving it all he has. Certainly Davey has now put the pressure on him and not made him drive any harder than he has to. So it's just impossible to tell right now which one of these cars potentially is stronger in the final 100 laps.
You know, Dover Down Speedway has a reputation of being very tough on equipment. The 500 milers here usually involve a lot of caution periods, but so far in this one we've only seen 6 caution periods for a total of 32 laps, and that's quite unusual.
The Fords have had a very good weekend here at Dover. They qualified in the front row. Alan Kowicki and Davey Allison were the 2 fastest qualifiers. 10 cars in today's field were Fords, 3 of the first 5 qualifiers. There were 13 Chevrolets. The number 5 machine of Jeff Bodine was the strongest Chevy, along with Terry Labonte, who ran near the front of this race for quite a number of laps before crashing out on the backstretch. There were 7 Pontiacs in the field, and the quickest Pontiac, I said the quickest Pontiac, is to be 6 Oldsmobiles qualified for today's race. And there were 3 Buicks, the Buick Miller American cars, of course, and the 26 car that dropped out early of Morgan Chevrolet.
Now the leaders are in some traffic as Dave Simcoe and and Brett Bodine drop to the inside of the racetrack, allowing the faster cars to pass by, and now they are sneaking up on Ken Schrader. Let's go to the pits once again and get a report from Joey Knuckles, the chief mechanic on the Davey Allison car.
Joey, are you guys running as hard as you can now, or are you just lying back and waiting? What are you doing?
Well, our car's real comfortable right now. We still got a lot of racing to go yet, and you know, I'm real happy Bud Moore's car's running good. Them and Ricky Rudd, they're really setting a pretty good strenuous pace. But we've got our best set of tires saved here for the last, and Davey's in real good shape, and you know, we're pumped up.
Can you make it on one more pit stop, or do you need two?
Well, we'll make one more pit stop for right side tires and gas, and we'll come in, and I need about 2 gallons to make it to the end of the way.
Okay, that's the story from Davey Allison's pit all the way to the gallon.
You know, that little smile from Joey's face when he said the car was comfortable kind of is suspicious to me.
Comfortable, and also his comment about them needing 2 gallons of gas. They would have to go 210 laps on 2 loads of fuel. That's an average of 105. I'd say he's probably right. You know, early in the spring, Joey really kept his hand covered. We kept asking him, telling him, we think that you have to come in for fuel, and he wouldn't admit that. So a little different public strategy being employed this time by Joey Knuckles, but I would estimate, again, he's probably accurate. We had Davey coming in at lap 290, and it's pretty impractical that you could go 210 laps on 2 loads of fuel, so that's probably about right. Now, let's check the situation on Ricky Rudd. The last time that he came in was lap 289. That means he would have to go 210 laps also, so it's likely that they both need to stop at least twice more. Jerry, what do you think?
Well, Ricky Rudd pitted, as you said, on lap 289, so they're planning on running about 90 laps. They expect to be coming in at lap 379, so just about 11 laps from now. They will have to make an additional fuel stop. They can't go all the way on this one stop. As far as tires are concerned, well, they were run out of the tires they had bought, the scuff tires, so they went and bought some more from Junior Johnson, tires that he had for Terry Labonte, and Labonte's cars have retired, so they're going to put some scuff tires from the Labonte car on the Motorcraft 4 when they make their pit stop in about 10 laps.
So all of this pit strategy, of course, evolves around the possibility of going green the rest of the way, but any caution periods could certainly change the strategy and throw all of that out the window. But for the moment, it's a good race between Ricky Rudd and Davey Allison.
Oh, hey, there you are! Commander USA here. Hey, it's springtime, a period of rejuvenation. I guarantee that my groovy movies will make you look and feel great. Whoa, well, okay, but my groovy movies are guaranteed to help you make new friends. Whoa! Oh, wow! Oh! Groovy movies are even better than living in a cave.
Raise your spirits. Join the Commander for his groovy movies. Saturdays.
Elvis, then the Beatles. Now it's MTV. Shame on me.
Every minute, MTV spreads corruption throughout this great nation.
Money for nothing and your chicks for free.
It tempts our children to party, party, party.
Party all the time, party all the time.
MTV is filthy rock and roll.
MTV. Some people just don't get it.
ESPN's World Tour slogan to win a trip to the Australian Grand Prix is Formula One Finale. Write that slogan on a card with your name and address and mail to World Tour Sweepstakes, P.O. Box 911, Ridgely, Maryland, 21683.
Welcome back to ESPN's live coverage of the Delaware 500 from Dover Downs International Speedway. Ricky Rudd, the leader, with Davey Allison running second. Sterling Marlin is third. Neil Bonnet fourth. And Bill Elliott is fifth with 374 laps completed.
Talking about Bill Elliott, Bob, and Bobby Allison, who have been able to stay on the lead lap, they ducked into the pits on a very short yellow on lap 297. Now, we don't figure the rest of this race will go green, but should it go green, can Allison in a Buick and Elliott in a Ford go 203 laps on 2 loads of fuel, meaning the one they're on right now and one more? Maybe so. You go from completely green. Elliott and Allison, Bobby, they might have a little bit of an edge on the other people on the lead lap.
Well, we're going to be seeing pit stops here in just a matter of a few laps. 4 laps, we are told, and Ricky Rudd will come in. Benny Parsons, who is running 10th, 2 laps down, has made his pit stop and is back out there on the racetrack. Now we watch for the Ricky Rudd pit stop in less than 4 laps.
The winners of the mid-track races of 1987 as we look into the Budmore pit and look at their readiness as now we go down to Davey Allison's pit crew as they get ready for him to come in. The winners on the mid-track of 1987 have been Dale Earnhardt of Rockingham. Ricky Rudd, remember, won at Atlanta. Earnhardt again at Darlington. At the Charlotte race, the World 600, Kyle Petty was the winner. Davey Allison won here at Dover. And the most recent Darlington race was won, of course, by Dale Earnhardt. Those have been the winners of this season on the tracks that are less than 2 miles in length, but 1 mile or larger.
It's interesting that the best a Chevy is showing at the moment is 7th place as Jeff Bodine is carrying the Chevrolet colors and is 1 lap down in 7th place. Neil Bonnet and Sterling Marlin continue to go at it as Ricky Rudd goes to the inside of the racetrack and is coming in for a pit stop. There is Neil Bonnet sneaking up on Sterling Marlin, but Ricky Rudd is in the pits. Here's Jerry.
Here's the leader, brings the motorcraft forward to a halt, comes in very gingerly, brings the car to a stop, the jack beneath the right side of the car. 2 right side tires on, the old tires off. They add the first can of fuel. Very important to get all the fuel in the car, and Bill Elliott just slides by. Elliott pitting in front of Ricky Rudd. And down and away, good pit stop for Rudd. As he moves down and goes back on the speedway.
Bill Elliott is also in. We're watching for Davey Allison to find out if he's going to come in this time around for a pit stop. There is work being done on the Bill Elliott car. Elliott 5th when he came in for the stop. He rolls back out on competition as Davey Allison continues to circle this racetrack. Darrell Waltrip is coming in for a pit stop as we watch Davey come down the straightaway and show no sign of coming in for his pit stop. And of course, Allison has been getting much better fuel mileage than anybody else. But it appears as if Davey may be headed for pit road this time or next time around.
And so much for any fuel advantage as Richard Petty ducks in that Bill Elliott might have had. He comes in on lap 381. No way that he can go on this load of fuel. Jerry is down in the King's pit.
Richard Petty, 7-time winner here at Dover, Delaware, brings the STP Pontiac in for his routine service. Right side tires. Bill Wilbur runs around the front of the car. He will add all the fuel in the car, and Dale Inman waits for that last drop of fuel, drops it off the jack, and he's down and away. Good stop for Richard.
Richard is in 12th position right now, 3 laps off the pace. Alan Kowicki is alone, 2 laps down. There are 4 cars that are 1 lap down, including Bodine, Buddy Baker, Rusty Wallace, and Benny Parsons, and then the 6 cars on the lead lap.
Davey Allison is staying out there. He is now at lap number 383. Sterling Marlin comes in for a stop. There he is. He was running 3rd before this series of pit stops.
Absolutely astounded at the mileage that Joey Knuckles, the Harry Ranier crew, and Davey Allison were able to get out of that car in the spring. Let's see if we're about to be astounded again. We figured that he had to come in any moment now. Just how far will Davey Allison stretch it? Joey says it's this load and then a little bit, just about a hint of gas a little later in the race. But let's see how far Davey can go.
There is Davey, and he's in the 4th turn once again, and he still is not showing any signs of getting off the accelerator and braking for pit road. Meanwhile, Neil Bonnet now has fallen into 2nd position because of the pit stops. Neil has not yet himself come in for a pit stop.
Well, I'll tell you, if he goes 98 laps, he's got 3 more laps, Davey Allison, that is, to go before he has to come in. So he's already shown the ability to go 98. That's 3 laps from now, so I'll wait to be astounded until about lap 395.
There is Allison in the 2nd turn now. We understand that it could be as many as 5 more laps before Davey comes in.
Last time was lap 290. We're at 386, so he has gone 96 laps so far. Bobby is in. Father Bobby screeches to a halt in the pit area. As Bodine is in right now, Harry Gannon, Buddy Baker. So a lot of the heavy-duty racers are in the pits at this moment.
Benny Parsons running right ahead of Davey Allison out there on the racetrack. Benny 2 laps down. He was 10th before the most recent series of pit stops began. Benny in the Folgers number 35 car. Allison still up to speed.
You know what is also astounding about Davey Allison's performance in 1987? Richard Petty will tell you that it takes anywhere between 5 and 10 years as Neil Bonnet, another one of the cars in the lead lap, currently running in second, to become competitive. And Allison has done it in just 1 half of the season. Jerry is down in Neil Bonnet's pit.
The Valvoline Pontiac comes to a halt. They will go beneath the right of the car and change 2 right-side tires. Neil Bonnet gets a cold drink there. The crewmen work over the car. The all-important second gas can now going in, making sure they get every drop of fuel in the car. Right side tires are changed. Here is Bob Rahilly back in front of the car. Down and away, 17 and 3/10 seconds for the second place car, Neil Bonnet.
And you'll notice that Harry Gant was passed by Neil Bonnet, and Gant simply can't get the car going. He came in for what appeared to be a routine stop. He inched the car forward a little bit, a couple of pit spaces. It wouldn't go. He got some assistance from other crew members pushing it on down the line, but the car just won't fire, and Harry Gant has pulled the Skull Bandit back into the garage area.
Harry Gant, who just a couple of years ago was a candidate for certainly top 3, maybe even remotely as champion, he is currently ranked last among all the drivers who have run in all 22 races.
Davey Allison's crew gets set. Joey Knuckles will lead them out onto pit road as here comes Davey Allison for his pit stop, and here goes the crew. Here's Dick Berggren.
This stop is right on schedule. Joey Knuckles told me about 10 laps ago, 391. That's 98 laps between fuel stops. That is not enough to go all the way. Davey has taken a rag in his mouth, a wet rag, just like Richard Petty. You just saw Joey Knuckles dive over the front of the car. They are getting absolutely every drop in it, and there goes Davey.
Joey Knuckles wins the performance among pit crew members as far as I'm concerned. He really takes it all to heart.
He has a lot of fun out there.
And there are 109 more laps to go in this race, so apparently nobody is going to be able to go the rest of the distance without another quick fuel stop. Now watch Joey. He's on the right front of the race car, and look at this effort that he puts into getting that.
It's effective. He gets that hose out of the way. You know, that's a very dangerous situation to have any driver pulling over a hose. It's like a whip when a car runs over it in the pits, as he's particularly trying to accelerate out of the pit area, and Joey's very effective at getting it out of the way.
So pit stops have been made, and we're sorting out the standings as they are right now. Apparently, Ricky Rudd goes back in the lead. Davey Allison is going to fall into second. Marlin still third, followed by Neil Bonnet and Phil Elliott.
This is my lava machine. This is my lava machine. Lava liquid. In 30 years of working with my hands, I've never used a hand cleaner like it. Power of pumice in a liquid. Feel it, powering away dirt, grease, just about anything. Powering hands clean. I'm Roger Gustin. Friend, when I talk power, I know what I'm talking about.
Lava, liquid or bar. Powers hands clean.
The Monte Carlo SS of NASCAR champion Dale Earnhardt uses just one make of tire, the Goodyear Racing Eagle. And every Monte Carlo SS leaves Chevrolet with just one make of tire, the Goodyear Eagle GT Street Radial. Not by coincidence, because Goodyear makes better high-performance tires for the track and for the street. Goodyear Eagles, they'll take you home the quick way or to the winner's circle.
Goodyear, take me home.
With Larry Newber, Jerry Punch, and Dick Berggren, this is Bob Jenkins back at Dover Downs International Speedway for the Delaware 500. Pit stops have been completed. Ricky Rudd is in the lead, and here is our pit stop summary. Now, all of these guys came in on different laps, but you can see how consistent everybody has been as everybody maintained his position during those stops.
And unless somebody really has a Houdini surprise up their sleeve, nobody can go the distance. As you can see, Davey Allison came the closest, 391 laps, 109 laps from the end. But everybody is going to have to stop one more time, and things could be frantic and very exciting in those last 10 or 15 laps. Of course, if there is a yellow, once we get past the 400 lap mark, certainly once we pass the 415 lap mark, everybody would love this.
New Papa, Darrell Waltrip, car number 17, going to the high side of the racetrack, allowing the leader, Ricky Rudd, to pass below. Waltrip unofficially 13th at the moment, several laps down.
Darrell Waltrip, a man that many people have felt over the last 5 years has been the best driver, and that's a combination of athletic ability, and moxie, and intellectualness behind the steering wheel in Winston Cup racing. But just to show you that everybody is human, and also to demonstrate how truly competitive Winston Cup racing is, he's had for him a dismal season. Now, you know, you say it's a dismal season for him, but still, Darrell Waltrip is currently ranked 5th in points, and he's won over $266,000. Yeah, I know it's a far cry from the races won by Earnhardt and Elliott, but consider that. Waltrip is still 5th in points. Only Wallace, Labonte, Elliott, and Earnhardt are ahead of him.
Well, Darrell and Stevie waited many years for their firstborn, and this is the way Darrell saluted Stevie just before the start of this race with "It's a Girl" on the windshield, and not only tied on the top of the car, but a box of Pampers.
Sponsor's product's going to come in real handy next 4 or 5 years.
And here is Neil Bonnet and Bill Elliott beginning to hook on to one another as this is the race for 4th position. Neil Bonnet, Sterling Marlin in a battle for 3rd.
It's been a long day for the Elliott clan. I'm sure that they figured to be running much closer to the front. They haven't been able to tenaciously hold on to the lead lap, but how many times this year, or how many times in their Winston Cup career, they found themselves battling with Sterling Marlin here late in the race. Sterling's had a great day. The Elliott's, well, they've had a strong day, but just haven't had quite enough to really contend for the win.
Marlin and Elliott, 3rd and 4th. The leader is Ricky Rudd, and there is 2nd place Davey Allison. And again, the interval between him and Ricky Rudd is about 2.5 seconds. There is Rudd coming out of corner number 4 and crossing the stripe, completing lap number 438. Back with more of our live coverage in just a moment. And Sterling Marlin. Marlin is doing a fine job of keeping Bill back there, or at least beside him. The crowd is just going wild here in the main straightaway. You can see them standing up and cheering and waving their arms and yelling. I think they're by and large Bill Elliott fans that are trying to root their driver on past Sterling Marlin for that 3rd position.
Well, certainly Darrell and Dale elicited the most response, I would say, although the king, Richard Petty, I guess you got to put him in a different category. I mean, he gets more than the most response. He just gets awesome response. But Bill Elliott is a big favorite. He has a lot of fans, and they're very loyal, even though this is a race just to be saved in 3rd place.
Ricky Rudd is still leading. There he is, coming down the straightaway. Now his lead over Davey Allison has grown to over 5 seconds just in the last 5 or so laps. And there is Davey headed for turn number 1 of the 24-degree banking here at Dover.
Ricky Rudd, by the way, is the 4th leading money winner of all time here at Dover. So you can see Ricky's had a lot of response, a lot of success, rather, over the years here. He's won $207,000, and he trails only Darrell Waltrip in 3rd, Richard in 2nd, and Bobby Allison, the all-time leading winner.
Sterling Marlin, followed by Bill Elliott. Marlin, the 1983 Rookie of the Year in Winston Cup competition. His best finish so far this year has been 4th on 2 different occasions. He has never won a Winston Cup event. His best career finish was back in 1986 when he was 2nd at Daytona.
Sterling was 4th at Darlington 2 races ago. He was involved in one of the many crashes in Richmond last week, so he was credited with a finish lower than 22nd. But really, in the last 8 races, that is the only bright spot for Sterling Marlin, was that 4th at Darlington. Listen to his finishes: 16th, 25th, 14th, 32nd, 15th, 20th, another accident, and the 4th and the 22nd we just mentioned. So Sterling has really turned it around here at Dover, and coming down to the end part of the season is always a good time.
Hey, here comes Davey Allison in for a pit stop. This is rather a surprise.
Yeah, I am not surprised, because they need to make some changes. They wanted to make it as quickly as they can, and Dick Bergen is there.
Yeah, this pit stop is earlier than they wanted to make it, though, Larry. The problem, the car is loose. Those right side tires didn't work. They're changing them now. They're hoping this is going to tighten it up, and this should be the end of Allison's pit stop. May have been a problem, may have been a flat in the tire. Jerry, what are they going to do down in the 15 pit with Rudd?
Well, here at Ricky Rudd's pit, they're trying to decide. They can go about 90 to 95 laps on fuel. That'll put them in here about lap 4, 369 or 370. That'd be 30 laps to go. They have a good set of tires. Their number one set here. They've saved all day long to put on this Motorcraft Ford. They're willing, ready, and able to win this thing here at Dover.
Let's see if that pit stop helped Davey Allison. There is Ricky Rudd, and Davey has gone a lap down, but will undoubtedly get it back when the others make their final pit stop. Now here is the final pit stop for Davey Allison.
Focus your attention to the hoses. That is an infraction normally to run over a hose, and as you can see, Joey was unable to whip it around the front of Davey Allison before Davey exited. Now, it is a greater infraction to run over it with the rear wheels. The question is, did NASCAR see it? Was it stand, or what's the call on that?
We will wait and see. There is Rudd following Jeff Bodine, who is in 7th position at the moment, 1 lap down, but standing a chance to go 2 laps down here for Rudd.
Now let's reiterate again, it's not overwhelmingly surprising that Davey Allison came in when he did, because everybody's got to stop one more time, and they were just very unhappy with the set of tires they had that time. So as quick as they can possibly get rid of them, work to their benefit. And coming in on lap 450 means that they're well within the window, even if they didn't get all the fuel into the car. So it is not a deficit at all for Davey Allison to come in now. Even if Ricky has to pit under the yellow, there aren't that many cars on the lead lap.
If he keeps on schedule, Ricky Rudd will be coming in for his final pit stop in about 17 more laps. There are the top 5 at Dover. Marlin is now 2nd, Bill Elliott 3rd, and Neil Bonnet is in 4th. Elliott did come in for a pit stop during that break that we just took, so Elliott falls out of the top 5 at the moment. And there is Jeff Bodine being passed by Ricky Rudd, and Bodine goes 2 laps down the lead.
He is the leader of the echelon of cars outside of the first 6 that have stayed on the lead lap. So everybody is 2 laps down to those 6 cars that we've been talking about. Rudd, Davey Allison, this is not the current order, but this is the approximate speed order that they're running in. Rudd, Davey Allison, Sterling Marlin, Bill Elliott, Neil Bonnet, and Bobby Allison. As Bob mentioned, Elliott has made his stop, Bobby has made his pit stop, Davey has made his pit stop, so anticipating Rudd and Neil Bonnet at any time.
Among the others in pitted, Benny Parsons. Nobody in pit road at the moment, as the action is centered on the racetrack itself. Rudd, a winner 1 time so far this year in 1987. That was at Atlanta.
Ricky Rudd is a man who started out his racing career thinking, I may want to go open cockpit racing. Indianapolis cars were a big lure for him, and even at one time, Formula One racing. Ricky, having grown up in the heart of stock car country, found the routes to running stock car racing much easier, of course, and he began to have success. And when you have success as a full-body race car driver in the South, immediately people start thinking in terms of Winston Cup, or as we knew it in those days, Grand National Stock Car Racing. Ricky Rudd was a pretty big success from the fairly early days of his late teenage years and his early years as a 20-year-old. He moved up. Remember, he had the ride in the Gatorade car. That was one of his first significant rides outside of the family operation. And Ricky Rudd has been a consistent top 10 racer and a regular winner since he moved up to Winston Cup Racing. There are those who question whether or not it's an upward or a lateral move moving to the Kenny Bernstein operation, but as successful as Kenny has been in all endeavors in racing, it certainly seems like it is at least a lateral move, and based on their plans, the Bernstein operation plans for the next 5 seasons, it's probably an upward trend.
Sterling Marlin finds himself in 2nd position in car number 44. He has not made his final pit stop, but is having a wonderful, wonderful afternoon here at Dover.
Boy, he really is, Bob, and it's pleasant to see it, because there is an entire team that really needed to have a good afternoon. There have been times this season when that team has been almost in a depressed state of mood. And this race has been a very gratifying one for them. They have run consistently near the top all day long, and as we have seen with only 6 cars in the lead lap, Davey Allison and Ricky Rudd, who have dominated most of this race, Labonte was also involved in that before he crashed out, they have made it difficult to stay on the lead lap. Everybody else, except those first 6, is 2 laps down. That is how strong the leaders have been running, and Sterling Marlin has been able to keep pace.
In case you're just joining us, as Ricky Rudd is leading this event, Dale Earnhardt dropped out quite a number of laps ago with a drivetrain problem, and his record of never finishing on the lead lap at Dover continues, and here is Ricky Rudd coming in for a stop. Here's Jerry Punch.
Leader Rudd makes the final critical pit stop here at Dover, Delaware. He will bring the motorcraft forward in. Bud Moore signals him to push the car all the way toward the wall. They will add fuel, and they will not change tires. No tire change for Ricky Rudd. Fuel only. Good pit stop. 7.9 seconds. The motorcraft forward, down and away.
And Davey Allison is just now coming out of corner number 4. So Rudd is going to maintain the advantage, it appears. If he can get that Ford up to speed, he's going to hold on to the lead. I believe he will.
Boy, if anybody ever pedals fast when you come out of the pits at this stage in the race, you just go for all you're worth. And if you could pedal, or if you could put the foot out the side of the door and kick as hard as you could to get up to speed, these guys would do it. Anything to get up on the banking, get going as fast as you can, as quickly as you can.
Because he has not made a pit stop, the leader of the race is Sterling Marlin, but he will have to come in soon, and that's going to give the lead back to Ricky Rudd. There is Marlin, who continues to hang on to the lead, but by just a matter of a few feet on the racetrack.
He pitted on lap 383, so he's a good 15 laps away from any type of danger sign. So apparently the crew is very pleased with the configuration of the car, or the tires they got on the car right now, how everything is going, so they'll just stay out there as long as they possibly can. Now, back to the Rudd-Davey Allison situation. Ricky Rudd gets through these last 2 pit stops with a significant advantage over Davey Allison. Now, it's unofficially, Bob, see if we can pick up as to how many seconds it is. It must well be in the vicinity of 7 or 8 seconds. Rudd has just crossed the finish line. There is the leader, Sterling Marlin. Here comes Davey Allison with 6.8 seconds in round figures approximately. Ricky Rudd now leads Davey Allison. So 2 pit stops were worth almost 7 seconds of an advantage, and Davey Allison has really got to pick up the pace. He's got 30 laps and 7 seconds to make up.
Let's take nothing away from Sterling Marlin. We're referring to Ricky Rudd as the leader when he really isn't, although he will be when Sterling Marlin makes a pit stop. But Sterling has got to be feeling real good about his performance today.
Well, I bet he wishes that he were Houdini right now. Just, Lord, give me 5 more gallons of petrol, and maybe I can just sneak it in. Maybe I can eke out this victory.
Only 30 more laps to go in this event here at Dover, and there is the leader, Sterling Marlin.
We'll take another unofficial check on that interval between Ricky Rudd and Davey Allison, the 2 cars that we expect this race to come down between. As Sterling ducks into the pits, our Dick Bergman is there. By the way, the interval between the other 2 cars is now up to 6.8 seconds.
Here's the leader making his pit stop, and by the way, everyone on this crew was hanging over the wall when the 15 took his pit stop, and they saw him take no tires, and that's just what Sterling's going to do too. Gas and go, he is gone. Marlin back out there.
Very quick stop. Sterling made sure that he had the revs up on that engine and let out on the clutch and sailed out of the pit area. So Sterling Marlin rejoins this hunt. The lead goes back to Ricky Rudd. There he is. Rudd will be first and Davey Allison second again now as we near the closing stages of the Delaware 500.
Xerex, the antifreeze that beats winter. Available now.
If all you're going to do is sit with your feet in cold water, most any waterproof boot will do.
But if you're going to use your feet, you'll be happier in Red Wings. Because Red Wings are more than waterproof. They're comfortable.
Imagine the best football player at every position on one invincible team. Find out which NFL All-Pros make the cut in an ESPN exclusive. NFL Dream Team, Sunday night.
See that? Ricky Rudd is the leader here at the Delaware 500 at Dover. Maintaining the advantage here with only 25 more laps to go. There he is. Just a couple of seconds ago, Ken Schrader almost lost it down in turn number 4. That car was totally sideways on the track, but he did a nice job of saving it.
And Ken Schrader, in case you missed it, we continue to follow the progress of the leader, Ricky Rudd, will be the newest driver in the Rick Hendricks stable in the next season. If there is a maroon 25 car sponsored by Folgers, Ken Schrader will be the new replacement driver for that. Ken was announced within the last 7 days that Ken Schrader is moving to that team, but he will finish out the season with the Junie Donlevy 90 car, which has enjoyed his best season as a Winston Cup racer.
Neil Bonnet comes in for his final pit stop of the day. Been a fine run for Neil Bonnet. Bobby Allison is also in for his final stop of the afternoon. And these are just splashes of fuel being put into these cars. Here's Jerry Punch.
Well, Neil Bonnet in for only about 4.5 seconds. A quick flash of fuel, about maybe 3/4 to 1 gallon is all he needs. He's only got to run 23 more laps, so if he can make it and stay up there, he'd like to get a good top 5 finish.
Well, Bobby Allison, Bob, got the advantage over Bonnet on that pit stop. He got in and out before Bonnet did, so Bobby Allison, who was in 5th position, will kind of hold on to that position, and Bonnet, Bobby will be 4th perhaps, and Bonnet will now be back into 5th.
Rudd on his way to his second victory in 3 races here at Dover. Last year's winner leading again this year with no problems at the moment and only 21 more laps to go in this race.
Ricky Rudd, who has had strong performances in Winston Cup racing each of the past 3 seasons. He was 7th in the final point standings in 1984, the year that he won almost $500,000. He was 6th the next year, 1985. He won over $500,000 that year. He was 5th last season, 1986, winning $671,000. And he came into today's race ranked 6th in the point standings. Now, we don't know exactly how the points will shake down, but certainly winning today might well move Ricky up 1 position because the points are very close outside of the top 3 positions. So Ricky Rudd continuing to show definitely an upward trend in his race driving career, particularly as a Winston Cup driver. And his arrangement, by the way, with Bernstein, as we understand, is for 2 years, a 2-year contract with an option on perhaps a 3rd year. But there's a team that really is looking forward, and everyone in the Bernstein camp must be right now all smiles thinking about what they have in store for them for next year. They, of course, are also very much involved in what's going on this year with Morgan Shepherd. That team has shown marked improvement in the past couple of months.
Shepherd, one of the early retirees in this race. And you know, Larry, when you go onto a racetrack anytime, naturally your desire and your hope is to win. But you got to feel that Ricky has a little bit more incentive to get a final win for Bud Moore before his association with Bud ceases.
I definitely agree with that because Bud is a historically significant figure in this type of racing, and they're also good friends as well as business associates.
All right, at the Dover Downs International Speedway, it is still Ricky Rudd leading with only 28 laps to go. Ricky Rudd behind Michael Waltrip and the pole sitter for this event, Alan Kowicki. He's in turn number 3 now with the road blocked ahead of him. He'll just play it cautious here and make his way to the checkered flag as easily as he possibly can. Here he is. Ricky Rudd wins the Delaware 500 at Dover.
Ricky Rudd picks up win number 2 of the 1987 season for this young man. There have not been very many people who have been able to win more than one in the 1987 year.
There is Davey Allison, who finishes second, about 3.5 seconds behind. Third place is going to go to Sterling Marlin. Fourth will be Neil Bonnet, and fifth was Bill Elliott.
And something else that's very difficult to do in the modern era of Winston Cup racing, and that is to defend a championship. But Ricky Rudd has done it here at Dover. He was the winner of this race 1 year ago, and he matches it here this year.
Nice, steady performance. There is Sterling Marlin. Speaking of nice, steady performances, Sterling up in the top 5 just about all race long and ends up in third.
His best finish of the year, as a matter of fact.
So Rudd has pulled into the pit road and is looking for Victory Lane, where we will have a conversation with him in just a moment. Once again, after the Delaware 500, it is Ricky Rudd visiting Victory Lane. We'll be back in a moment. Puts Neil Bonnet third, Bill Elliott fourth, and Sterling Marlin, although he didn't finish third, a fine performance, he ends up fifth. Let's go to Victory Lane and Dick Berggren.
Boy, what a nice deal, surrounded by blondes. This is the one that counts. This is Linda, his wife. Ricky, have you ever had a better day behind the wheel of a race car?
I tell you, I can't think of it. Bud Moore, the entire Bud Moore crew, this Motorcraft Ford never missed a beat. The Motorcraft plugs never missed a spark.
How about the pit work today? How important was that to you? They seem to be able to get almost everybody beat coming out of pit road.
Well, like I said, they did a heck of a good job. Earnhardt had me concerned one time. I kept him behind me for a long time, and then we looked like time for a pit stop, and my car got a little bit slippery and his stuck good, and I was really worried about him. And Davey run awful hard too, and the last 100 laps I knew the situation. I didn't want to run hard and take a chance on damaging any tires or anything, so we just sort of ran our own race from the last 100 laps.
Gas and go on the last stop. Would you prefer tires?
Well, I could have used them. I was slipping and sliding a little bit, and everything runs through your mind like you got a tire going down, and I think somebody was dropping some oil right there in the last 20, 30 laps because I was sliding around quite a bit. And the only thing that can go through your mind is you got a tire that was wore out because we didn't change left sides or right sides on the last stop.
Now, yesterday you announced that you're going to have a new ride for next year. Today you win. Thoughts about that?
Well, it's, I've got mixed emotions about it. There's been 4 years with this race team. Bud Moore, they're like family. It's a heck of a good bunch of guys. And it was just sort of time to maybe look ahead, maybe try something different. And that's sort of what I'm going to try next year, get together with the Kenny Bernstein race team.
Well, a very successful win here this afternoon at Dover for one Ricky Rudd. Right now, oh, wait a minute, hold on, we got more to say.
Well, I just got to say, I just drove this thing today. These guys that worked on it, they really set it up right. All I had to do was just steer it.
It is a team sport.
Yeah, it surely is.
Meanwhile, with second place, Davey Allison, is Jerry Punch. Jerry?
Well, Davey has climbed out of the Haviland Ford, and Davey, exhausted completely, could hardly hold his neck up. Davey, a heck of a run today for your car.
Well, Jerry, it was a heck of a run for our Haviland Star Thunderbird, but Ricky ran a little bit better race, and he won. I want to say congratulations to him and tell everybody that our guys were doing a super job, and we still finished second, and we feel like that's pretty good, too.
A little bit of a miscue in the pits in that final pit stop. Were you aware of the problem with the hose?
No, I didn't know of any problems. I was too dialed in to concentrating on catching Ricky, and I knew the only way we could catch him was if we had some good tires on.
Ricky did not take tires on his final stop. I know you were hoping he would take tires so you'd have a shot at him.
Well, no, really, I was hoping that he wouldn't, and if we'd have hit the combination just right, I think we'd have caught him. We were only 2.5 seconds behind him there at the finish. We made a gamble. We took a gamble. We feel like we did the best we could do. Ricky just did a little better.
Well, a rookie, not a bad rookie year. Winning one and finishing second here at Dover, Delaware for Davey Allison.
All right, and our winner's circle interview has been brought to you by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. No matter how far you go, Goodyear takes you home. Well, we'll be 4 hours here this afternoon, a race that was won by Ricky Rudd, and another victory for car owner Bud Moore. Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, Bud Moore, which was the most important ingredient today, the car, the driver, or the crew?
Well, the whole crew worked real good. They got in the car in now the pit's real good. We got our tires just like we wanted them, and Ricky drove an awful good race. We knew yesterday afternoon that the car was capable of winning the race. The car run awful good. we felt like we had everybody covered yet that afternoon, and so today it proved it.
Yesterday, or this afternoon, you were going with scuff tires that had already been broken in. Your competitors were going with new ones. Why did you go with scuffs?
Well, we scuffed all our tires in yesterday, and we did get a little concerned there. We was getting down to the last set, so we did have the 55 car, which we really thank them for scuffing the set during the race for us, and they did. And we had that set for a backup, and we was hoping for a caution tire pretty close to the end there. If we did, we'd have a good set of scuffs to put on. We knew we could cover them with those scuff tires.
Did you ever have a car that ran as well as this?
No, I'd say this is the best the cars ran since we ran here last fall. You know, we won the race here last fall with this car, and it's the same car, and the car just run immaculate today, and just seemed like it was no problem outrunning anybody. So we're really proud of Ricky, and we're really proud of the whole Motorcraft team.
Well, maybe we did a good job in the intro, too, because we said it takes everything working right to win one of these events, and for sure, this team had it. Everything worked perfectly today.
And that is Bud Moore's 4th win here at the Dover International Speedway. More thoughts to come as we conclude our afternoon of auto racing from Dover, Delaware.